3, 2, 1.
Testing. Okay.
The screen flickers to life, and it's not on the title screen. It's not on the loading screen. It's already in the bookkeeper's library. He's there, sitting at the table with a woman that has a similar book on the table next to her. And even the drowsy witch is just laid over a couch, just sleeping away. The two are playing with some cards on a 3x3 grid on the table before the bookkeeper looks up and blinks a bit from under his hood.
Is something the matter? It is your turn.
No, look, right over there.
What?
They're here.
What? Wasn't this supposed to be your day off? Why are they here?
Well, heck, honestly, I thought it was supposed to be your day.
Don't look at me. Someone else was supposed to be in charge of that one.
Oh.
Actually, I'm not really sure who or what they are. Haven't introduced themselves to me yet.
These are the players. Got Sax, we got Shane, we do. Wait, one of them seems to be missing right now.
You get used to it.
They're not leaving.
We didn't even get to finish round 1. What a pity.
Alright, well, you might as well stay and watch. He just kind of picks up his cards, puts them back into a deck holder.
I have always been curious about the characters in this book of yours. Perhaps I'll take a gander at what misadventures they wind up in.
Well, I didn't have the later chapter written just yet, so we'll just put a couple blank pages in, and we'll see what they fill in from there.
If they're anything like the characters in my book, prepare for those blank pages to be filled with a bunch of quite amusing nonsense.
Right. Anyways, he claps his hands together and pulls a book off the shelf. Right. No, we're just getting onto the boat, talking with what's his name? The mutton chops. Yes. But finally, he had just went out to start getting the crew back from their leave, so that the heroes' party may,
Seems they've caught you a bit off guard, haven't they?
Look, I usually have me a bit of a script ready to help with the recap. Anyways, welcome back. Wait, and he just flips the blank pages as the screen zooms in onto him before opening back up into the room where all the heroes were gathered together.
Hello. Briar, how you doing? How you adjusting to ship life?
That's a good question. One I'm not really sure I have a good answer for yet.
Part
Brain's
of that
doing
question-
loops just to try and figure that out.
Well, part of that question is going to be answered by the quartermaster, who's also in charge of berthing. That means where you keep your things and where you sleep. You'll need to travel down below decks to see the quartermaster and see exactly what berthing that you have available, what we have available. I'm going to go down there with you, most likely, and make sure, for example, that Morgan has a stateroom below decks. Staterooms were for guests anyway. Many of them are in different places aboard the ship. Usually they're all in one cluster. On this ship, the staterooms are one deck below the main deck, and they're all clustered together. Now, Morgan, if you want to go even further below deck so that you avoid sunlight at all times, don't really worry about that, because anything below the main deck, the only light that's going to shine down there is those that let in through the hatches to the main deck.
That's fine, but
I'm sorry, Olivia. The reason I keep calling you Morgan is because I'm genuinely interested in your patron deity, and you did present yourself as a champion of hers, so forgive the insult, if that's what it was.
it's no insult. I'm not sure how to feel about it. And then she kind of blushes a little bit, but it's extremely easy to tell because how pale she is. It's almost like an honor to call her Morgan, but she doesn't know if she's allowed to accept it or not. So she's very shifty-eyed about it.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
until we find out more information, and until Mr. Hutza completes his mission, let's get you berthing, and let's get you food. I'll show you where the galley is, and where the head is, the place where you relieve yourself and freshen up. Those are common places aboard ship. We don't have individual places like that. And that's even true for officers. We share everything on board this ship. So that might be unusual to some of you. You'll have to get used to that.
I hear it's good for morale. Well, the scuttlebutt usually is that the officers eat and relieve themselves with the crew.
Well, this ship is too small to have an officer's mess that's separate from the crew mess. On a larger ship, that would be the case. But here, I'm glad that I can eat with my crew.
Mm-hmm. I like
If it were one of the bigger airships, we would eat separately, along with guests and VIPs. Here, we just don't have that room. But it's understood which tables are for officers and which ones are for crew, so that shouldn't be an issue. Anyway, if that's the case, then let's go. Then the first place to go to make sure that you have what you need is to check with the quartermaster, and we'll get you some berthing from there. I'll assign berthing numbers. That way, it's recorded. That way, we can look for you. It's unfortunate to say this, but everything has to be known and recorded on board this ship, just in case we enter battle and we have to do damage control and look for specific people in damaged areas. All of these chambers are potentially airtight and watertight, and that's a key factor for any ship operation. Any questions so far?
None from me.
I'm not sure I follow all that, but I'm going to try.
Okay, well, berthing is where you sleep, and that's what that's called. The mess is where we eat. The galley is the place where they cook all the food for the mess. So that's a good starter. Well, let's go over directions again. Out into the hall we go. So I'm going to go through the secured, rubberized portal and swing it open. It's not square; it's cornered on this. It's cornered on every corner. It's rounded on every corner. And I'll say, "You'll see this? This is exactly what keeps the difference in air pressure and keeps water out should we have a water accident. It doesn't look like we're airworthy, so we're going to be sailing the old-fashioned way." Let's see. Well, we've got a bulkhead right here, and you can see from what we're looking at, there's a number in the corner. The bulkheads are numbered. The low numbers are at the front of the ship. The high numbers are at the back. Aft and that are at the bow and stern. Bow is the front, stern is in the back. That's how this works. If the number is printed on the right-hand side of the bulkhead, that means it's on the right side of the ship. That way you always know where you are. The deck numbers are on the sides of the walls. Between those two things, you'll always know where you are on board ship. Okay?
And the right side of the ship is the board.
Starboard. Oh, I'd better explain that. Come on, I'll explain while we're walking.
Right.
If anyone else approaches down the corridor, just move to the side. We're expected to make way for each other, although most will make way for me since I'm the captain. As I keep my green cloak held down over my forehead, at least for now. All right. As we're moving up toward the bow, the front of the ship, you see the numbers getting lower as we're passing through these bulkheads. Some of them have doors, some of them don't. They're just ribs to build containers throughout the ship. Chambers throughout the ship. Now we're on deck 1. This is actually where berthing is, but we're going to go down further. So we're going to find the closest, excuse me, we're going to go down the closest hatch and climb down to deck 3. Oh, no, the hatch. I climbed down. You asked about board. Well, it's actually called starboard. I'll explain port and starboard once we get up on deck, and this will be helpful too. Those of you who have heard the term, it's actually easy to remember, but I want to show you the ship lights too. So we climb on down to the third deck, to the quartermaster's quarters, to his work area. Now I'll open up the door. And who is the quartermaster? I never wrote him.
I'm going to say Quartermaster is a female. It is a shark demi named Kraze.
Does she have boobs?
These are demis, yes.
Whole question.
Yeah. She is sturdily built.
Okay.
Yeah, just move on.
Right.
Yeah.
Besides, besides, she's in officer's uniform anyway.
Yeah. Although her sleeves do kind of near the elbows, because on her forearms are some fins that stick out.
Have to make some adjustments to the officers' uniforms because of the species we have. Birdmen are the same way. Anyway.
Yeah, for them we gotta make sure that they have the slits in the back so they can have their wings through.
Right. But
no. She comes upstairs and stands at attention. Captain.
Sir, as I don't salute, I don't salute at all because we don't salute indoors. Kraze, This is the member of. These are members of the crew that I gathered in Cauldra. They'll be coming with us all the way to Ionius. Therefore, they need some berthing. We're going to fill up most of the staterooms. Is there anyone that is all right with rooming together? There's not a lot of room on these ships, and there isn't quite enough extra staterooms for you all.
And she's pulling a book from the desk, flipping through. Staterooms.
How many doubles and singles do we have available, ma'am?
Well, I think Briar can
I don't remember
bunk
any.
with me if she wants.
As long as whoever bunks with me doesn't mind Bugabud potentially getting in their space.
Rosea thinks
He gets
there's,
very antsy.
I want Bugabud in my room.
You hear a very soft huff from Olivia, who really wants to volunteer but knows she can't.
All right, so the one Briar with Rosea then. This page. There we go. Starts to scribble a name on Briar's name onto a page next to Rosea's. All
I was
right.
thinking to have another bed moved to my quarters for Briar and Bugabud.
Do pay attention to the bulkhead and deck number of your stateroom. That's going to be extraordinarily important because you can lose your way on board the ship. See, as the ship grows and changes its missions, sometimes new chambers are built that take up multiple bulkheads, and suddenly a hallway that you're used to being there isn't.
You get used to it eventually.
I'm probably gonna need my number repeated multiple times.
Well, that's all right. Just check with Croze. Make sure that your deck and bulkhead number that you memorize them. It's 2 numbers, and that's where you sleep. That's where you're going to be most of the time, unless you want to take up issues or roles within the ship. That's a different story.
Right. Rosea, you already remember your birth. For Briar, it's insert first number, insert second number. We won't get too picky about the details.
Berthing with who? Let's sort this out.
So that leaves 1, 2, 3, 4. Because Kenzo, Olivia, Esha, Zaya, and Etesian. So 5. So we need to put down for 5 berths.
Right. And we certainly don't have 5 whole staterooms available.
All right, we have 2 with 2s. We got
And Briar's taking up residence in the security chief's berthing, so that should settle it. It's just a question of who's berthing with who.
well, me and Kenzo will be fine berthing together. I mean, it wouldn't be much different than when we were both working under Master. Right, okay. And you'll be assigned to berth number here, number there. Then, sure, rummage around, get some keys set out. Don't lose them, or they're gonna be docked from your pay.
Wait, we're getting paid to be on this ship?
That's standard. Don't let Croze mess with you. Croze is also the paymaster on board ship, so Croze handles all the zenith for all the crew and all purchases and expenses.
She gives a big sharp tooth grin.
One of those shark teeth is gold.
Yeah, look, gotta make sure that the zit it keeps flowing where it's supposed to go. And if things interrupt that flow, it's gotta be replaced.
You
And
should meet
that replacement's gotta come from somewhere.
Zaya. She's gonna be staying with us for a while. She's a merchant. She brought her own supplies.
Merchant,
Something else
eh?
we need to work out.
Yes.
We need to get Zaya organized with our quartermaster so that the funds are kept separate. Zaya may be useful to the ship, and I think that Zaya wants to consider herself crew to operate because of the places that we're going to go. But we need to eventually clear this through the Ionian military and through the supply chain.
Yeah, so honorary quarter staff then, or cargo staff. Right. I think I have a fine place for her to set up and get working. Also, keep her good secure. Her if she wants a place to put them.
Yes, we're stationed near the cargo hold is smart. That way we can move things back and forth efficiently. I like that idea. Good idea, Krause. Good call.
So that leaves the Pell one, the Elfish one, and Zaya to get birthed in. So which one of y'all? Yes, Captain.
With 3, and with only 1 stateroom left for the 2 of them, one of you is going to have to be assigned crew berthing. It's the best I can do on board such a small ship.
I suppose that'll be me.
You already surrendering yourself to the crew berth.
She just looks around and sees no other hands in the air and is like, I guess so.
Morgan, if that's the case, then I think that you'll be a good fit. Let me see.
Just probably say, hey, we'll shuffle the book to the captain.
Let's check deck 3 aft.
3 after flip.
See if we've got a bunk there.
We got one there. Looks she'd be sharing with Teralt. Should be fine though. He's usually one of the night shift ones.
When you get to crew berthing and talk to Teralt, then you can make an arrangement whether you want the top bunk or the bottom bunk.
That's fine.
Crew berthing is all bunk beds. Also, no matter whether you have a bunk bed or a stateroom bed, there's going to be a foot locker, either at the end of the bed or underneath the mattress. In your case, Olivia, you're going to lift up your mattress, and your foot locker is going to be underneath your mattress. And you can slide that out, put your things in there, and slide it back in. Just keep in mind that when you slide out a foot locker, it's going to take up the entire aisle between 4 different bunks. 2 sets of 2, obviously. So when you start doing things, pay attention to your fellow crew members.
Yes, sir.
And if that's the case, Krause, then she's going to need new linens.
Right. She'll like flip like entire sections of the book over to an itemized list area. Yeah, scribble something down. There we go. Making sure that's checked out of cargo.
Welcome back.
Now, the next question is, do any of you want crew uniforms? We'll need to measure you for them. It's not necessary at all. After all, it would be better if you were identified as not crew. That way you won't be shouted orders in case of an emergency. But if you do want a set, as a memento, it's the least I can do as captain.
I think Olivia's fine in her armor. Mainly because if she takes it off, there's not many people are going to be able to carry it. It's just going to be too heavy.
I'm gonna nudge Briar and kind of like wink at her.
Huh?
Get a crew
Just kind of looks
uniform.
over you confused.
Crew
But
We
uniform.
wear a number of uniforms on board ship. That way everyone knows what class you're a part of. If you're enlisted, then you'll get one of the denim uniforms, resistant to the elements outside, especially salt and water and buffeted around by the air. They're tough uniforms, utilitarian, good for use in any kind of work. Actually, I think Briar, you might like the denim.
I made this back in Aldra with the intent that this would be my uniform.
Oh, come on.
You can choose whatever you want, and like I said, if you're in uniform, then you may receive orders from people on board ship. We'll clear that up at the captain's mast, where we introduce you to the rest of the crew. But we can't really do that until we get those people back from Liberty, right, Rosetta?
Right.
Captain.
Can we get Bugabut a uniform at least? And I kind of scratch Bugabut's nose.
Bugabut is too unusually shaped for a uniform. That's not going to work.
We can get a custom fit.
Even if you got a custom fit, I doubt he'd stay long enough for you to actually get it on him.
Well, that's up to the tailor. Depends on whether we have time.
Well, depend on how long it takes the crew to come back from Liberty.
That's the most important thing. Oh, by the way, we have different uniforms on board this ship. We have what I'm wearing now is far more diplomatic. It's in my my nobility role, so forgive me for that. But I'm going to change into my captain's uniform soon, and I'll probably be wearing the standard. As a matter of fact, Rosea, we need to make sure that we're clear on this. Uniform of the day is probably going to be the standard denim for enlisted, and we're going to go with the dark blues. We're going to go for the dark blues for officers until further notice. That's something for the XO. I know. I'm getting ahead of myself. That's something for the XO. I get flustered and I turn to the group again and say, well, I'm the captain, so I'm commanding officer, which is CO for short. A second-hand officer is the executive officer. He's the XO. He handles what I pass down and does the work amongst various departments, organizing them together so that I can make decisions. It frees up the captain to make the big decisions. On the enlisted side, we have a Master Chief, and the Master Chief is the head of all of the enlisted folk. You folks are guests, but if you want to identify yourself as an enlisted person in the Ionian military, at least for a little while, we can do that. Matter of fact, we've done that before. Some people want the full experience. Most don't. And that's okay.
Yeah, deputizing.
It's more like deputizing. That's a good way to put it, Krause.
Careful.
But that's entirely up to you. If nothing else, we've got our berthing numbers. So now you know how to move around the ship from bow to stern and from port to starboard, whether it's left or right. So you'll know how to get to your berthing from here. Do you have all of your linens now, Olivia? Do you have those? Krause, never mind that. Can you have those linens delivered uh, to Deck 3 berthing?
Right, I'll get a swap. I'll be on that delivery right away.
Thank you. By the way, how are we on the fuel for the main engine?
Fuel for the main engine. We're not exactly full up, but we're close there. Yeah. About 3/4 full.
All right, so that means that when we do get repaired, if we get repaired, then we can become airworthy, and I can show you what the shooting star can really do. In the meantime, Olivia, we're going to have your berthing delivered to your berth in Deck 3, and it's going to be berth 52. So you'll get to work with your bunkmate to determine whether you want the top or the bottom bunk, and I'm sure that the crew's going to have a lot of questions about you. Other things. If you are in berthing, stay quiet. There are people rotating through shifts. There are always people sleeping in berthing. And one of the worst things that you want to do is to wake up a sailor who has a different watch that they need to attend to. So stay quiet while you're in berthing. Reading, having a light on close by, those things are okay. But don't make a mess of yourself. It's just gonna aggravate some of our crew, and the crew can be a little rough.
Yes,
You know,
Captain.
we can deal with a slight bit of noise, like maybe you've accidentally dropped something. And that's fine. We can usually see through that. If you make a habit of dropping things, then you're likely to get decked.
Yeah. So just pay attention to that. Just, you're a guest here, but we just don't have the room for you. Thankfully, that berth 52 on deck 3 is all the way in the back and it's in the corner, so it shouldn't be too much trouble. And your bunkmate shouldn't be too much trouble either. And that's important, especially when you have to climb over each other. All right, if we're good here, then I think it's time to go above deck. That question of starboard hasn't been answered yet, so now I'm going to explain that. Well, we've got a little bit of a climb, so let's head back up to the main deck and go out and catch some air.
I have a question for Saxon Hessen.
Huh?
Does our showers are they like communal showers? Do the staterooms have a personal shower, or how does this work? Does the officer room have a
Sir,
personal shower?
on board the Shooting Star, officers, we share everything aboard ship. So the officers do have their own shower. The crew has their own shower. Our mess is combined, but the showers are separate.
Is it like kind of like a prison shower? Like there's like 20 shower
Pretty much
heads,
what it is. Yeah. That's pretty
and is
much what it
there
is.
designated shower time, or I'm just curious.
Oh yeah, there's a designated shower time, and there's not so much a designated shower time as there is a designated shower limit. Because one
Oh,
thing that's difficult to store on board a ship is fresh water.
Yep.
Seawater we've got plenty of. Fresh water is a different matter. We only have so much of it.
and that the showers
And
would be separate from the bathrooms.
the showers and the head are typically in the same general area. That way you can clean yourself up,
Uh-huh.
but they're not directly connected. But they're kind of a subdivision of the same room.
And I'm guessing the showers are co-ed since we're a co-ed ship or co-ed and woman.
Well, no, not really. So we make sure, and the crew polices themselves to make sure that only certain groups of people go in there at certain times, whether it's 5 or 50. We want to make sure that we get in, get showered, get out.
Uh, okay.
There is some mixing, but you get used to it.
Yeah, I asked out of character because Rosea would know all this, and I didn't know all this.
But this is why sailor life can be a little rough. If you're hassled by any member of the crew, you can report to any department head, and that message will get to me quickly, especially since you're guests aboard this ship. Most of the crew will recognize that you're VIPs, and they'll give you your space. Just make sure that you try to shower at the same time, that you pick each other up, wake each other up, and go to the showers at similar times. It'll make it more convenient for everyone.
Right.
Main mess is served it's served 3 times a day. 2 main meals for the day shift, for the evening shift, and there's mid-rats for the third shift. The galley's working full time, so make sure that when the ship's bell rings for that particular group, departments will send their people to the galley one at a time. That way we don't overload the mess with people. Once they're done eating, the next group will be ready to go. It's ship's tradition. Once you're on and you're ready to eat, you're ready to cram that food down as quickly as possible. We have a combined mess here, so that's kind of expected of us too. I'll say it again, and no offense, Kraze, but sharkmen eat differently than the rest of us.
None taken, Captain.
None meant. Anyway, if you're ready, we can go on. We can go up to the deck, the main deck.
Okay.
Remember, don't lose your keys. You will be docked.
Right.
As we start to walk away, I mention most staterooms remain unlocked. We just dog down the doors for security reasons. You don't really lock these doors. She's just messing with you. But those keys, yeah, you can lock your door from the inside and the outside for, well, security reasons. Since you're guests here and you have staterooms, the staterooms operate differently than the rest of the ship.
Well, I guess Briar has a key to my room now.
Yes, that would be true. Meanwhile, if you
Girl.
come to any closed door like this one, make sure that you knock and that you knock hard before you're allowed entry into that space. There may be somebody right on the opposite side of that door doing something. The ship is a cramped place. Make sure you announce yourself wherever you go. Meanwhile, as we're walking along, there's a shout down the corridor. Attention on deck! And people come to attention in various species. And I simply immediately say, at ease. You might want to get used to that too. Captain, XO, and the higher level officers, including Rosea, crew members may immediately come to attention and say, attention on deck, and scramble a little bit to make sure that everything's okay. Officers have special privileges. We have gangway throughout all of these corridors. And you may hear that too. You may hear the word gangway if you're moving throughout the ship. That's a signal to get out of the way. A more important person or thing is coming down the path. So that's where the word gangway
I
comes
remember you mentioning that before. I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah, maybe gangway in various, on city streets and in alleys and things like that. Well, that's where the term comes from. All right, we're gonna go up to the main deck. Follow me one at a time. Make sure you look up and down the ladder before you get on it. Somebody might be in a hurry. I climb my way up to the hatch. Take a deep breath of open air. Come up to the main deck. And of course, I'm going to get out of the way of the hatch so that everybody else can come up.
Yeah, I climb up.
Okay. Since we're all out and we're facing the bow of the ship, that's the bow. Now, it's pretty simple to explain. It's shaped like a bow, but we call it a bow. Certain things have weird spellings and pronunciations. It's on a ship. You'll hear a lot of weird terms. Just ask what it is and we'll explain it to you. Like a bathroom is called a head. Don't ask me why. That's a generations old term, and I don't even want to know where that came from. Rumors are called scuttlebutt on board ship. Maybe you've heard that term. That's where the term comes from. So we're looking at the bow now. Behind us is the stern. You wanted to ask about port and starboard? Well, look to the left side of the ship. This is where the town is. This is where the docks are. This is the port side. That's why it's called that. Because any ship that pulls into the docks is always going to come in the same direction. Well, why is that? That way, ships can move in on lines that are expected and don't cross lines or run across each other. It prevents collisions. And ships don't slow down very fast. Or, technically, they don't slow down at all. So we need to make sure that when we approach something, whether it's in the air or on the ground, that we show our port side to the port itself. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, who asked about board or starboard?
Lester raises her hand.
Well, that answer's easy. As we turn to the right and look out at night, that's where the stars are going to be, because there's no light of the town on that side. So that is the starboard side. If you have any questions on remembering it, remember that left has a smaller amount of letters in it than right does. Port does too. So
Yeah,
left is automatically port, and right is the longer word, which is starboard. Does that make sense?
I heard it as port has the same number of letters as left, so that's how you know which side is left.
You're absolutely right. And furthermore, that also applies to ship lights. Here, we're going to go over to the side right here since I picked this particular hatch. And you can see over here on the side of the ship, it's not lit now because we're obviously docked. But these ships have lights on them. If you can want to lean over the railing, be careful. But if you can lean over the railing there, you can see a couple of metal ribs, those bronze ribs, and there's a lamp there. That's going to light up green. Why? Because in darkness, we need to see where ships are and what side of the ship it is. That way we know which way the ship is going. So, if you're looking at the ship and you see green, obviously you're looking at the right side of the ship, and the bow is to the right of it. Does that make sense? Because you're looking at the right side of the ship. You're looking at the starboard side of the ship. The bow must be in front. There's another light like this on the very opposite side of the ship, and it's red. So port, left, red. The reason why I'm telling you all this is if any of you are on watch and you see both red and green lights, you automatically know that the ship is either pointed directly away from us or it's coming straight for us. So if you see green on the left-hand side and red on the right, you know that the bow is pointed at us. Very useful for notifying us of when you see something out there. There are also white lights on the front and back of the ship, and the four lights together, especially in air, let us know when there's something out there and what direction that it's traveling. You'll be on deck quite a bit. You'll see it in port. As far as airships go, this is a standard, not just in Cauldra, but in Ionius. I noticed that on the way in. So it's a standard. That helps the ships flow into and out of port. It helps ships avoid each other on collision. It helps to identify ships that have running lights. If you see a ship without running lights, that's a pirate.
So if a ship is coming at us that don't got no lights, they're probably pirates and want to attack or steal from us?
Well, that's right, because they're going to sacrifice ship safety, including the lighting system, to gain an advantage in the dark.
So they would be free reign to fire upon.
Well, yes and no. The situation out on the sea and in the air, everybody's an island. Every ship is an island. If you destroy that island, you kill everyone. Well, if you can look a little bit toward the stern, behind these running lights, that's where one of the lifeboats is. The lifeboats have huge parachutes. Should this ship be disabled, we'll try to launch lifeboats that can drift out of the sky and land in the water. As softly as we can make them, anyway. There are assigned people on board that will board each lifeboat to control it, like an independent captain, so that we can get most of the people off of this ship before it goes down. So you'll be assigned a particular lifeboat based upon where your berthing is. That way you have the shortest possible route to abandon ship. As far as pirates and how we deal with them, it's a little bit more soft-edged than you'd think. Pirates, if they're the regular kind, pirates will announce themselves, and they'll announce that they're here to take our. And here's another strange word for you. Treasure is called booty in naval terms. Stop laughing.
Mark giggles very childishly and does not stop.
That's what it's called. So they'll be after our booty, including everything that's in our cargo hold. I told you stop laughing. But that's serious business. They'll announce themselves. They'll announce what ship that they are and what their intentions are. Sometimes they'll send messages. Sometimes they won't, and they'll just begin attacking. But they won't do it in order to sink us. That's not the point. The point is to disable us and to have one side or the other surrender. And at that point, one of us takes the other ship if we can, and we'll work it out depending on what the situation is. Sometimes
the
we'll let
other
the pirates
gets the
go.
other's booty.
Well, not all the time. Sometimes you'll let a pirate go. Sometimes they're in really bad shape and they need that ship to limp home. Now, marauders are different. Those are pirates that don't use running lights, they don't announce themselves, they don't fly any flag, or worse yet, they run regular lights and suddenly take down their nation flag and then put up a marauder flag and open up point blank. Those are the worst ones. We try to kill those ships and all their crew. There is a difference. And there's things like privateers, buccaneers that are somewhere in the middle. Every instance is different. And we've tangled with a few pirate marauder ships and things of that nature. But they tend to stay clear of the shooting star because we have a unique profile. And since we have a unique profile, that's a ship to not be messed with. And if they don't learn that, then they learn that the hard way. They learn that at the ends of our guns. Or, more likely, we just outrun them.
Mm-hmm.
So, is there any questions on ship directions, running lights, that kind of thing? The reason that I say it's important is if you're outside the ship for any reason, you'll know where you are. Highly useful. If we see anybody go over this rail, whether it is in the air or in the water, we're going to yell man overboard immediately. And most people are going to respond to try to figure out where that person went. The reason is this ship's going to be in motion, and we're immediately going to leave that person behind in our wake. So we're going to start searching the stern of the ship to see where they went. And we're also going to look over the side rail just in case they're staying in place in the air and they have a parachute of some kind. We want to make sure to mark where they are. If you go overboard, some of our uniforms have, well, glow rods on them that you can put in the sea and you can break them. And what happens is there's a special chemical inside that'll react with salt water and turn the seawater green, a glowing green all around you for a while. And here's where the ugly part happens. If you go over the side and you do not have a parachute, we will not be able to save you in time. Some of the Well, some of our crew members are birdmen, and they can take a shot at saving you, but that's up to them.
Well, luckily we'll
If
be
you go
on
over the side, you only have... And
luckily
that
we'll be
water...
on the sea. We won't be in the air for the next voyage.
No, which is why I need to talk about water. Water is cold, and it will sap your strength in minutes. If you're overboard and you're in water, try to swim as little as possible. Conserve your strength, because it's going to take a while for us not only to find you, but to turn the ship around to rescue you. During that time, your strength might be gone, or some sea life might have noticed you. Sometimes the sharkmen can leap off and try to locate you, and they're very good at that because their sense of smell may not be great in air, but in water they can smell you from a mile away. So, if you have any perfumes or anything like that, it might be a good idea to actually wear them on board just in case you go over the side. That the sharkmen are going to be able to smell that in the water. But still, you're at risk the moment you go overboard, or that anyone else does. Remember, this is an island. It's a little city all on its own, and it's constantly moving away from everything else. Is there any of you who cannot swim? Anyone? If you cannot swim, you see these? See this big white ring? We may toss that to you. If you're lucky, you can grab it as you're going overboard, and on the sides of the ship. There are a couple of them on the sides of the ship too. If you're very, very lucky, one of them will come to you. You can use that as a flotation device until we come to you. But if you want those cases, those glow cases, you can visit the quartermaster. We can get you some. That's a big safety reason. The other safety reason, as I mentioned before, is fire. A lot of the ship is made of wood. It's hardened wood, and it is treated wood. But if anything gets hot enough, like a loose Magitech charge, or if we're hit by a cannonball from a pirate or marauder ship, the friction from that cannonball can set this ship on fire. Fire is everything. It will consume everything, including you. And there's nowhere to run. So we have to fight the fire. We have no choice. We have some hoses and pumps on board the ship, and crews will man those hoses. But anything that we can do to put that fire out, including picking up a bucket, will be better than nothing. I hope that you understand how serious that can be.
Certainly doesn't sound too good of a situation to be in.
We run fire drills, so you will hear fire drills, and we're going to treat them like the real thing. You may hear general quarters, and that means that we have to attend to our damage control stations because something serious is happening. If you hear general quarters, battle stations, that means we're under attack, or that we're swooping into attack. This ship out on the sea, yes, we're wounded, but if we find someone that needs rescue, we may go to battle quarters, even though it's a rescue operation, so that we can be at the ready for anything. Are any of you hungry?
Yeah, I vote
Always.
all the non-Zax and Rosea characters have to make an insight willpower check to see how much they absorb from that Lord of
Why
And
Are any of you
specifically
this
hungry?
would be
us?
a
Why
good one
not you?
to because I know this stuff, but I don't know it as a player. But Rosea knows this stuff, but because she's been on the ship, she's in the Ionian Navy or whatever. So, but this would be a good check if you want to intentionally fail and get a fabulous point by invoking a trait.
You walked away from your mic.
Yeah, we can't hear you at all, brother.
Oh, this would be a good check to intentionally fail to get a fabulous point if you want.
I'm done with that. Ship
I
life
mean,
is complicated.
I definitely feel like this is. I'll make the check for Briar, but I may just opt to fail. She's having a real hard time wrapping her head around all these words.
All of this that I'm talking about, the crew knows better than any of you. Follow what they do. If they run, you run. That much is pretty simple.
Olivia
I didn't
got
even
it.
have to spend a fabulous point.
Olivia
didn't do
remembers
anything.
every detail.
Briar's nodding her head like she knows. She doesn't know a damn thing. She doesn't know what's
Place
going
we're
on.
going to go is the mess. We're going to eat, and even though it's not scheduled time, and you'll know because there's a lot of motion in the crew because everybody wants to eat. And usually we do this either at the beginning or close to the beginning of each shift. That way you can get the maximum fuel that you need to perform your duties for the shift. After the shift, you can attend mess again when the next mess comes around. So anyway,
Okay,
let's head on down to deck 2. Deck 2 aft is where our galley is, close to engineering. So we're going to get down there, and we're going to have some food. Now you get your first taste of Ionian food, or at least Ionian military food. Not quite up to snuff of things that the cafes and the cafeterias do in Ionius, but at least you'll get a feel for it. If any of you are hungry, come with me.
Okay, I pulled up the invoking to fail rule, and you do it before the check, and you gain 1 fabula point if you choose to do that. So,
Yeah.
but before the check. So, I don't know, Briar, if you wanted to do that, then you can add a fabula point, I guess.
Yeah, I think she would. Even if I'd gotten a high roll, though, this was very much going to be an intentional fail. Briar's not built for remembering stuff like this.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I'm sorry to fill you full of information. Rosea, can you escort these folks to the main mess and introduce them to our cook? I have to go. I have to go dress. I have to get out of this diplomat's uniform and get into ship's uniform. And I think that you will too soon enough.
Sure. Follow me right this way. And I walk very sternly, seriously towards the cook, knowing exactly where I'm going. That's a question I wanted to ask Saxon Hessen. Rosea has combat like or not runic plate armor, but the officer's uniform is like royal blue. So I mean, but I'm the security officer. So am I always in combat gear, or do I have a uniform that I
You're
wear?
you are in combat gear because you're head of security. You're in combat gear, but you wear the
Yeah,
uniform underneath. So that the
underneath. Okay.
collar peeks out. So that the collar peeks out, the sleeves peek out in places, so you're still identifiable as an officer, no matter
Okay.
what uniform you're wearing. The
Okay.
collar's going to stick out, and that's how you know.
Mm-hmm.
You're
Right.
special. You get to wear armor all the time.
Right.
As head of security, you probably should.
Right.
That's standard aboard all Ionian high fantasy vessels.
Mm-hmm. So as I lead them down to the mess, I guess, to talk with the cook or the kitchen. We're going to the cook, right? So the kitchen.
Oh, you're going. The galley is where the food is cooked. The mess is where it's eaten. So you guys are actually
Okay.
going to the mess to get some food.
Okay, we're going to the mess.
Well, you'll hear the clattering of trays and utensils and pots and pans long before you get there. The galley is a noisy place all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. A constant stream of motion.
Oh, yeah, in and out.
Mm-hmm. I've worked in a kitchen before. I know that. I know that vibe.
And the smells are of seafood. And those of you who can smell spices of all kinds. And there's a lot of potatoes. A lot of potatoes. You can smell the peeled, freshly peeled potatoes, and onions is the other thing you can smell. And underneath all of that, awkwardly, is like a thick cake of grease. So it's a little unnerving at first.
Mhm.
Bugabot, I can hear that nose a churning. Don't you get no ideas. Calm down. We're in a position where you can't quite eat as big of portions as you're used to.
But Buckbut's just dancing from one shoulder to the next to back to the first shoulder, and just repeating.
It's salmon, vegetables, and mashed potatoes today.
Oh, that's
Yeah, but I suppose it is a bit different than what we're used to, but you certainly don't seem to mind with how excitable you're getting. I swear, you'd eat a rock if I painted it with something that looked like cheese. Or any kind of food, really.
I imagine Buckbutt would have
There
the
is
instructions unclear, starts to chew on Briar's hair.
there is cheese
Hey!
and salad on the side, by the way. There are multiple meals because not every species can eat everything, so we have alternates. After all, this is the Shooting Star, so it's a special ship. So we do have food set aside for the officer corps, the extra stuff, and since you're guests, you'll have access to that. So you'll have gelatin is popular aboard ship. Although some of you may have encountered that gelatin as a monster.
Oh no, they're eating bloop.
No!
yeah. I direct them to get the meals and tell them exactly what they need to do. Probably just line up and get it.
Yep.
Line up, grab a tray. It's just like a cafeteria. It's a buffet.
Yeah.
Except that it's served to you, scooped out, off you go. You ask what you want, scooped out, and off you go. You might meet the head chef down there.
Yeah. Who is the head chef?
No, it's a shark person because that's canon. It's a
Yeah.
shark demi, but I don't know what kind of shark demi it is or personality or anything else. Never wrote that far.
Yeah, I'm
Essen, who is
imagining.
the head chef?
Yeah, I'm imagining like a like a large, thick shark demi. Like he gets his own berth just because he just needs that space.
He's a big boy.
A big
He's a
boy.
great white. He's a
Yeah.
great white. He knows how to eat.
Mm-hmm.
Very big maw. Shiny eyes.
Yeah, I imagine quite a few scars, like across his skin, across his dorsals, and
He's
then
been in a
just
few
like one big one, like right across his jaws, like across his lips.
There's a reason he's a cook now. He used to be something else.
Yeah, but yeah, he wields a knife with a very practiced hand, and
He's got a tattoo of an anchor on one bicep because, yeah, that's a thing.
yeah. But yeah, like he reaches to pull a salmon out of like a barrel or crate next to him. Deftly cuts the head off, slits it open, fillets it, pulls out the bones, any innards and such. Then slides it over to the next station to get cooked up. As he pulls out another fish, repeats the process.
Oh, yeah. Everybody pitches in. And Rosea, one thing that you will know is every crew member starts with galley work until they learn their actual function on board ship. They serve in the galley. They move things around, they serve, they wash, they clean, they cut. And the head chef in this case, he just likes to help out. He just likes to help out wherever he can, instead of watching over everybody.
He likes having his hands on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
We get
he
her.
pauses as he hears the clanking of Rosea's armor. Like, better make sure the big portions are out.
Oh, hello, Gary. How you doing?
You still can't pronounce the full name, can't you?
Right. Well, anyways, these are new crew members. They'll be getting the officers selection too, and
Yeah,
uh,
yeah he wipes his knife down. I imagine that there's like magnetized holders or whatever,
mhm.
so that
Oh
the
yeah.
knives don't go sliding around when they're set down. So
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We put them in. You put that stuff out there, that becomes a weapon. So of course, those pots and pans, all that stuff's locked into place.
yeah,
That ship
he
rocking could get
wipes the
trickier quick.
knife off, places onto the magnet before for kind of like almost what waddles to happen is way over just because of its thickness. And just leaning down, giving that big, great white grin to Rosea and the others.
Mm-hmm. Hello, and this is
So these are the fresh meat.
yeah, pretty much. But you see this critter here? And I'm pointing to Bugabud. That's a VIP. He gets a double portion every meal. The captain's orders, not mine.
So not for snacking, but for giving snackings.
Yes. How's the ship been? Anything new?
The galley's been running like the clock usually is while I'm heading it up.
Yeah, you're a valuable asset to this crew. Please report any security incidents to me directly.
I keep my ears open, but I ain't hearing too much these days.
Okay. How have you enjoyed the stay at port? We haven't been active for a while.
I took a day or two to actually get out into the water myself.
Yeah, you need it.
Do a little personal hunting.
Yeah. Catch
Oh,
anything good?
it's I couldn't catch anything too good since I can't really get too deep out there.
Mm-hmm.
But I did catch me a couple lively ones that I chomped down.
Yeah. So
So
what you
who are
salmon
these
on the menu
other
today?
ones?
Oh,
Oh
this is
yes, salmon.
Briar. The VIP told you about. This is Bugabud.
Uh, Hi there. She just kind of
Yeah.
awkwardly waves.
He'll reach a hand through the window and offer a finger to be shook. I'm Gransama. Rosea has trouble
Greg,
saying it, so she just calls me Gary.
I think I'll just stick with Gary. I'm not sure how to even pronounce that.
There we go. And I have that recorded now. Yay! So we got Bruh, the Snacker Bugabud. What
This
about
is
y'all?
Olivia. She's dark and
Hello.
mysterious.
Dark and mysterious. Terrible.
He kind of gives a little sniff in the air as if you shake his finger. I mean, he does give a little sniff of the air. Bit strange smell you got.
That does make Olivia a little self-conscious, and she does sniff herself for a second, but then she just kind of shrugs.
Nah, don't take too much into it. We got a bit different sniffers than you Humi boys. Or girls. Especially those of us that are more short arc than humanoid.
This is Kenzo. Kenzo, say something.
How much is in it for the salmon?
It's free, Kenzo. You can just eat.
Ah, yes.
This is Kenzo's girlfriend, Lesha.
Hey, baby. We're not. Hi, I'm Lesha.
That struck a nerve.
Why are adults always so weird with that word?
Hey, I might be working in engineering with Kenzo. Gotta be working alongside good old Sax, eh? Yeah? Hey, just don't get on his bad side. Yeah, good man. Hope you managed to raise his temper.
This is Etesian.
Greatest aliens. I mean,
So,
I'm a human person, but yeah.
yeah,
What's your
look like
name?
an elf one to me. Oh,
Yeah,
worry.
let's go with that.
Give,
Do we have a
give me
secret
a couple
handshake?
days and I'll put some actual meat on them bones.
Yeah. We could have a secret crew member handshake. How do I become the captain? I want to be the captain, or the admiral, or general, or
That,
super captain. I don't know. You know
I'm
something.
gonna have to stop you right there on that, cause that there's mutiny talk.
No, I'm not. I'm gonna kill him or anything. That'd be. I'm sure there's got to be a democratic process to it.
No, you're
The
not going to be the
democratic
captain,
process is
Etesian.
Mm,
the democratic process is from the military.
mm,
They're the ones that make the decisions,
yeah.
all the way up to
Sorry,
the Tropigarch.
she's new. She's not non-military, but she's a VIP for now. I give her side eye.
Yeah, probably one to keep an eye on.
Yep. Trust me, I got my eye on her. So, salmon and mashed potatoes. Yay. Should be
Yeah.
tasty.
Do you want your spicy, or are you
You
gonna?
know it.
You're actually stepping up into the spices.
So do you have any really good stuff, or is it just typical spice?
We've been experimenting with some of the cauldron spices.
Give me the hottest thing you got and just pour it all over it.
Yeah, as he pulls up on some gloves.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Opens up a small jar or something, and then just kind of taps it over your salmon. Just just a little bit of coating on the top. There we
Like,
go.
is it just one tap, or is it like you put a whole layer on it?
Uh, let's say at best a very light dusting.
Okay.
Like it was carefully done. Even though you basically said lather it in the hottest, he just kind of lightly put stuff on.
Bugabud, Briar, do you want some super spicy salmon too?
I don't think
You
that'd
do
be a
not.
good idea. Last time Bugabud
Look,
ate something spicy, his magic went haywire.
yeah, just telling you right now, little one, you don't want any of this. Yeah, as he holds up the ball that has 2 skulls on it.
I take it the skulls mean that very, very hot.
Oh yeah, there's different levels of spice. Then it can get into extreme levels of spice. And then finally, the ludicrous levels of spice.
This is above that, right?
Rosea, you'll be lucky if you're tasting anything but ash with this spice.
Cool, thank you.
Yeah, definitely hold
She's
off on any and all spice for me and Bugabud. I don't want his magic to go haywire and cause damage to the ship.
she's gonna be shitting fire for a week after that one.
What about you, Olivia? You want something spicy?
Olivia will just kind of shake her head. No, I'm fine, thank you.
Okay. Well, we all got our food. Follow me. We're gonna
Yep.
sit at the officer's table. And I lead him down to the officer's table.
Yep.
Sit down, put my plate of salmon on, get my knife and fork, cut off a big piece of the dusted salmon, and stick it in my mouth.
Make me a willpower check, DC 16.
Oh god.
I was hoping it would be a might, for like endurance, might willpower.
Nope. This is straight willpower.
Six.
Oh boy.
Yeah, you take that bite, and then immediately your brain is just like, bad idea, 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 bad idea.
I imagine a little
I,
anime moment where like, the face turns bright red, steam coming out of the ears.
My
Yeah.
telepathy goes haywire, and the entire party hears in their heads, "This is freaking hot!" Like, and I'm going out loud.
Yeah, from the galley, you just hear Boris. I want
What did-
her.
What'd you do to me?
You said you wanted the hottest.
I'm gonna finish it. I take another bite.
Give me another willpower to see if you can get it all down.
13.
Yeah.
I will invoke my bond to Randall. 16.
All right, fabulous point spent. Yeah, you manage to get it all down. You just focus on your
My love for
on with
Randall.
Randall. Yeah, must look good as an officer. Like, you've embarrassed yourself with the initial bite, but now it's to prove that you are a true Ionian officer. You get that down. Just trying to not let any more pain from the spice show as it burns down your mouth into your stomach. You're probably gonna need some Tums after this.
I'm sweating and crying and snot's coming out my nose. I'm like, that was good. I might go for seconds.
Bugabug,
hear-
don't you dare take after her. You're being spoiled enough, and I worry that your magic will go haywire if you try the same.
The
Don't
pain salt.
You just
remind
hear
me
Olivia
not to
go,
use the washroom after
damn,
you.
she really is strong.
Seriously,
You,
remind me
you,
not to use the
you know
washroom
what?
after you.
That is now the name of that spice. Pain salt.
Pain.
Yeah. Ugh.
So, do you guys react to the telepathy in your mind?
Olivia's used to it
Bugaboo
because of
just
Lady Morgan,
eats.
so she doesn't react too much. She just admires the strength it took for you to do that to yourself.
Bugabud's probably too focused on just devouring his double portion that he's been spoiled with.
Yeah. There is vacuum noises coming from Bugabud. Pretty much, at the very least.
You better be sure to thank her when you get the chance. She's spoiling you. Don't talk with your mouth full. We're on a much more professional ship and place with like militaristic stuff. I'm gonna have to tone it down a little bit sometimes.
That's okay, Bugaboo. You can thank me with plenty of kisses later. And I'm fanning my mouth, tongue out.
Yeah, I don't think you're gonna be able to do much about that bug, but our magic can't exactly cool down whatever she just put in her mouth. I mean, I'm sure she'll welcome the kisses. I just don't think they're gonna do much for the hotness. If you say so, bud. You're welcome to give it a try, I suppose.
Okay, so I hope y'all adjust to life at sea. I'm your security officer, Rosea. Any questions?
I have a question. Why did you ask for the hottest thing?
I like spicy food.
But are you sure?
Yes.
You're,
Are you
you're,
sure?
you're sweating and weird stuff, gross stuff is coming out of your nose. Or your...
That's
With
part of the
each of those,
fun.
yeah, with each answer, there's a boisterous laugh from the galley.
This is typical. I always ask Gary for the hottest, and he tries to get me more and more hotter food to get me to admit defeat. It's never gonna happen.
Well, I suppose if nothing else, better you than Bugabud.
Hey, I ate it all, right? You know, tears coming down my eyes, and I'm bright red and sweating.
With all that stuff that Randall was saying about like decorum or whatever word or like looking professional, is it all right for the crew to see you looking like that?
I guess I'm just enjoying my spicy meal. It's not a big deal.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a bit of tension during it, but it seemed it was a bit of a morale booster thing. The crew that having their meal uh, seems to taking a bit of amusement out of the whole ordeal. Or probably a couple of cent trading hands.
Mhm. I think there's a
Right.
little ambitious enlisted person who walks up to Gary and is like, "I'll have the exact same spice she had," trying to make a big show of it.
You ready to be on the shitter for a week, son?
I can take it. I will be an officer one day.
Spicy food an officer doesn't make.
Hmm.
That's how you deal with it.
And I will deal with it. I think his name's Marvin. He's got glasses, like circle glasses, and
Forgot a bit. Gonna try to. Ooh, excuse me. If you're gonna be trying to mimic her path.
Yeah, very much swabby vibes.
give me the pain salt, sir.
Eh, one doesn't get anything by skipping straight to the end. If you're gonna follow her path, then you're gonna follow her path. You need to work yourself up to the pain.
Okay, well, give me your
We'll
best shot.
we'll start building you up through the week. He'll pull out a ball of like the that's it. What I'm not a hot freak, so I'm not exactly sure or what sort of wording I'm supposed to be looking for.
Scoville?
No, I'm not looking for the heat index thing. Uh,
There's jalapenos, and then probably habaneros, and
Yeah.
then it goes up to millions.
Yeah, he'll pull out a sauce that is like the general starting point for hotheads. Like, sure, there's like the mild, medium, and hot for normal people,
Uh-huh.
but then like you really want to start going that step beyond. This is that first step beyond that.
Mm-hmm.
So he takes a ball of that, dabs some of it onto the swabby salmon. Then places the tray down in front of Marvin. Here you go, Swabby. If you can't
Thank you,
take
sir.
this, then you can't. Then you need to rethink your path of following with hers.
Okay. He takes it and he kind of waves to Rosea as he passes, like, and smiles, but Rosea doesn't even notice and sits kind of by himself at a table and just starts downing it while people trade Zenit and make bets on how he's going to do. And I don't know, 2d6.
Let's see. Hmm. Do we want to do D6 or do we want to do a D8 D6?
I don't know. I figured his stats would be d6 across the board.
Hmm.
Great being a jack of all trades. He's a jack of none. Damn.
Anyway, well, let's see if this will upgrade him to a jack of all trades. Let's see what 2d6 gets him.
7, 1 degree
Yeah,
success.
yeah,
I think he's hurting a lot, but I think he finishes it.
yeah. Yeah,
And it takes
there's
him a
a
long time.
lot of table pounding from him.
Yeah, and it takes him a long time. And Zaya just kind of looks up and looks over and what's going on over there? And then shrugs her shoulder and then goes back to her food.
Yeah, it's hard for him, but he does manage to finish the first step.
Mm-hmm.
Now he just has to survive the aftermath.
Yep.
Dun dun dun.
The ring of
Yeah,
fire.
I imagine Marvin looks up to Rosea, but's never talked to her before.
Yeah, there might be some admiration there, maybe something a little more, but you've never really noticed him,
Mm-hmm.
especially considering you've always had your eye on Randall.
Yep.
Both as a security officer and as a woman.
Mm-hmm. Etesian, did you get any hot food, or did you get normal meal? You hear, Monty? Guess not.
Hmm.
Okay.
Eh.
I guess we can finish up our meal, then maybe go take a shower or something, and then play dice or something like that. Maybe we'll meet up with Zax or Randall.
I get shower and either go find Randall or go find, I guess, what would be considered the rec room or whatever.
Yep.
People take downtime.
hmm And this is the rec room. It's got cards and dice and
Yeah.
a little vid screen and
Yeah.
nice comfy sofas and tables.
And there's a group of three sailors. Female avian demi. Let's say a raven. Black feathers. Beaks mouth. There's a shark demi that has the head of a hammerhead shark. Okay. So the extended sides. Male. And human male. A bit stocky. Dressed in his denim uniform. Probably either doing some rec room stuff either before or after his shift.
hmm
And they seem to be playing a nice game with each other. Everyone's rolling six dice at the same time. Although it did. Well, not everyone at the same time. They take turns
hmm
doing it.
They fireballing each other?
Yeah. Huh?
Are they fireballing each other?
No.
Right, because that would be 86.
It's just 66.
That's a
They roll.
ADD fireball at level 6, I think.
Got a ship, no captain to man it. I'll roll again. Got captain and crew. And that's 12 in loot. All right, it's my turn then. Right. Yeah, let's see how your looks if it keeps holding up. Yeah, I got a ship and a captain already. No crew, however. Well, let's see if I can't get some crew and good loot. She sets aside the 6 and the 5 and rolls the rest of the dice. I got a crew and let's see here. I'll keep the 5 for loot and re-roll the 3 and the 2. All right, that is 14 in loot. Yes. So 9 and 5. Yep, that's 14.
What game y'all playing? I haven't seen this one.
Ah. Well, we're playing a dice game called Ship Captain Crew.
How does it work?
Well, you play rolling with the 6 of the die. The objective is to get a ship, a captain to man a ship, and then a crew to serve the captain. A 6, a 5, and a 4. And once you have those, then you can collect loot, which is the other 3 die. However, can't have a captain without a ship, and you can't have a crew without a captain. So you have to get the ship, the captain, and the crew in that order.
The ship is a 6 or a 5?
The ship is the 6. You gotta have the ship first. Then you need a captain to run the ship. And then once you have the captain for the ship, you need the crew to work with the captain.
Okay, so you need a 6 and then a 5 and then a 4. And then the rest is
Yes.
the loot.
Yes, which is your points for this game.
How many rerolls do you get?
You get 3 rolls.
Okay. And then once I have my ship, like let's say I rolled a 6 and all the rest ones. Once I have my ship, I re-roll
You
5 more dice. I take away the
you
6.
you set aside the 6, then you take those up the remaining 5 die and you roll them again. And if you don't
Okay.
manage to get all 3, then you score nothing.
Okay. I guess I'll play.
Right.
What are we betting? Are we betting Zenit?
If you want to risk your zit on it,
How does betting work?
it's just a pool and the winner takes all.
So I'm playing against somebody else? How many rounds do we go?
Until somebody breaks 20. Once
20
a
points?
person breaks 20, then everyone else gets one more turn to try to beat that. So
Okay.
save if I here as the short arc man point gestures at the Raven lady. Say last round she got 15 points, and then this round she managed to score 10, breaking her into 25. Then that signals the end game. Everyone else gets a turn around the table to try to beat that score of 25. And if nobody manages to beat what I got, I win. If somebody manages to get a score higher than that, like a 28, well, then they win.
Actually, I can only play for fun. I just checked my funds. I only have 3 Zenit.
I gave all of mine to the captain.
Yeah, so we're just going to play for fun. Who
Yeah,
wants to join?
that's no problem.
I'll give this game a shot.
I suppose it's worth a try.
What about you, Etejan? You here yet, Monty?
Sure, why not?
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll go first.
Alrighty. We'll do a new round. So here you go.
Take
Here's
the
your
dice, the
dice.
cup, shake it up, and then pour it on the table. Oh, wrong roll.
Congratulations.
Let's see. I
Captain,
can't.
ship, and
Hey,
crew.
So
you
I got a
got a
ship and a
ship
captain. Ship
and a
captain.
crew.
Or
Ship,
no, because
captain, and crew. 654.
I thought you had to do it in order.
No.
Yeah.
I think
If
you
you
just
get
get
them
the
all on
numbers.
one roll, then you get them
Okay.
all in one roll. But
Okay,
if
so
you roll all fives, then you can't set that captain aside unless you already have a ship.
okay, I got it. Can
Yeah.
I
So
start
now you
storing up
have
loot or no?
yes, you have you have a 5, and a 6. So you have 16 in loot right now. You can save it or you can re-roll them.
I'm going to save the 6. You know, I'm going to save all of them. 655. I'm
All
done.
right.
One roll done. So how much is that? 6, 5,
Nope.
11. That's 16 points for Zale. Okay. Who wants to go next?
Yeah, talk about officer's luck.
I'll give it a go.
All right, here you go.
Give it a little shake. Toss it out on the table, and
You also got
Oh.
a ship captain and crew. 332 for 8 in loot. Or you have 2 chances of re-rolling.
I'll take a re-roll, and then the re-roll is just like the 3d6.
3d6.
3.
Technically better.
Do I stick with the 10 or do I try again?
You can always keep the 5 and re-roll the other 2.
I'll try it. I'll set aside the 5 to use my other one. Hey, there we go.
Ah,
There's improvement.
So 12 points. Does Bugabum want to play?
Would bug a
Bugabud starts to eat one of the dice.
What
Here,
am I
I'll go
now?
and go next. If that's what we're waiting on.
Stop
Sorry.
it. I said drop it. Sorry, Olivia, you might have to use a sticky die.
The Bugabud die is the one that rolled a 5.
Yeah. Olivia just kind of shakes the drool off her hand and is like, let's try that again. Still
No
shit.
ship.
Got a cap and then a crew you could set aside.
No, you have
Can't
to
put
have the
anything
ship
aside for a good
first.
ship. You got a ship and a captain, but no crew.
No crew, no loot.
Nope.
Sorry, you get a 0 for this round.
Olivia just looks disappointingly at her dice.
All right.
Teason, you want to go?
How many dice was it I roll again?
66.
6.
Shame.
Huh.
Even with the Bugaboo Slobber, I wasn't lucky enough.
I mean, Bugabud gave you a 5. It just couldn't much be done afterward. Guess.
Alright.
No ship. So re-roll all of them.
Reroll.
Yeah,
Hey.
you got ship captain and crew, and you have a total of 12 points in loot. Do you want to keep that or re-roll some of those? You have a 6, a 4, and a 2.
Uh, is 12 good?
Yeah, pretty
I
good.
didn't.
Then I think I will keep it then.
You could re-roll the 2 and the 4
Oh, okay.
to get more loot.
Good point.
So roll 2d4 or 2d6. Double 4.
That
That's a
2,
little bit
4, so
better. It's 14 points.
Oh,
ready? Yeah. The Raven Emmy will take up the dice. All right, let's see if my luck is still holding out. Here we go. A ship captain and crew, and I will re-roll my loot. Ah, I'll set aside the 5.
Ah,
Oof.
damn.
Luck is still favoring me. So that is
Does she get an opportunity?
no. That's 12 plus 5, so that's 17 for her.
Okay.
All right.
Next round.
Yeah. Unless you want the other 2 to roll as well,
No, that's fine.
or if you're fine. Okay, works for me.
Ship captain crew 6 points plus
Yeah, you got a 6,
plus
a 2,
3
and a
and a
3.
2. I'll re-roll the 2 and 3 for the loot. Come on, kitty.
Alrighty.
I'll keep the 5, re-roll the 3. 3. So 6, 5, and 3 for the loot. That should bring me to, what is it? Hold on. Roll 16 plus 5 plus 6 plus 3. I'm at 30 points. You all got one turn to.
Yep.
Now, is that one roll or do they get all 3 rolls?
They get all 3 rolls. They get their full turn.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like say that Olivia had broken into 20 on her turn, then that would mean it would still go around again to the table, but once it got back to her, then that would signal the end of the game.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Okay.
that is your final score, 30. It's now time for everyone else to try to beat that.
I'm already cooked. There's nothing I can
Oh.
do.
Eh.
You got a ship at the very least. Just need a captain, a crew, and 3 6s to tie with Rosea.
There we go. That
Yeah.
means I have
2 3s to reroll and a 6 for loot. Or no,
guess
4, a 3, and a 3. 3
yeah, it
3.
should 4 and or 4 3 and 3 for loot.
Yeah.
Heh.
Can
Guess I
you
should
get
try to
those
reroll
shrimp
all of them.
6s? Oh.
Only got 1 6.
Alrighty.
That's 13 added to my 12 for 25 total.
A ship and a captain. Yeah, a crew and a 665 for loot.
Now that she doesn't have the slobbery die, now she's rolling good.
Yeah.
You know what? No, I'm just gonna keep that. I'm just gonna keep my 21. Thought about re-rolling F5, but fuck it.
And so you managed to finish with a 17. Good job.
That's good enough for me.
You managed to get on the board at the very least.
Exactly.
Alrighty, Tishan, your turn.
Let's do this again.
Oh my god.
You got a ship.
Alright, so let's set that 6 aside. I roll 5, those other 5 again. Need a captain and a crew. Alright, you got the captain and crew. Got a 621 for loot. One more reroll.
Which one's the loot one?
You got a 6, a 2, and a 1 in your loot.
Okay, I'm gonna re-roll the 2 and a 1.
Alrighty.
Oh,
Oh, there it goes.
Oof.
I mean, there's a 5 there.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah. So that's a total of 12 added to your 14 for a 26. All right, now let's see if Ravana can steal this from Rosea. Will the Raven's luck hold out? She's got a ship. Uh-oh.
I don't think her luck's gonna hold.
Nope, didn't. Got the captain, did not get any crew. So yeah, Rosea wins. With 30
Yay.
points. Pretty fun, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, officer's luck. Officer's luck.
Possible.
You think your officer's luck will hold out?
Maybe. I don't know.
Sharkman gathers the ice up, places them in the cup before Rosea. Ready for another go?
Mm-hmm.
I could play another one.
No ship for you. Uh-oh. Did this officer use up all her luck?
Looks like it.
Oh, no. All right, your turn, little one.
All right, but
Uh,
don't go biting on the dice this time, please. You may find them tasty, but they ain't supposed to be eaten.
You got ship captain and crew. Got 421 for loot.
Hmm. I'll reroll all 3. Ugh.
Oh no!
Reroll all 3 again.
Yeah, 12. Not bad.
Same score as last time. Looks like I just came out with the same score in both round ones.
Sometimes that's how the luck rolls.
Yeah, shipping captain.
There's my crew.
Yeah, got 461.
11 in loot.
I said I was worth it. I rerolled one of the 4s and the 1.
So 12, 14.
Fine, buddy.
All right, Etesian. Got a ship. So,
So we roll 5.
yep, roll 5 of them. Had a lot of crew there, but no captain to command them.
Point 1.
Ooh.
Oh, you
Still a
rolled
bunch of crew.
5d5.
Uh-oh.
Oh, rare.
Oh. Whoops.
How,
Mulligan.
how did you even do that? Oh, you got a
Gotcha.
captain, but you got no crew.
Ugh.
So roll 4d6 now. Oh, you managed to get a crew, and you got 15 in loot.
All right. The dice stands up. Can't move. Like on its corner.
Yeah, Shark Man, look, it's about ready to take the ice and roll. Well, before he gets a pat on the shoulder. Oh, your shift is about to start. Might want to get on to that. Right. Shark Man gets up, rushes out to get ready for his shift. As a human lady just sits down. She's got a medical uniform on, bags under her eyes, cup of coffee in her hand. So playing the ship captain crew game as well. Hope you don't mind
Who is this?
if I butt in.
Do I recognize this person?
Yes, this is the medical officer. This is the medical officer, Medea Ryson.
Oh, hey, Medea.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
you put her in this game too? How dare you? Scary
sure.
ass doctor.
Medea, you want to play?
Yeah. Might as well.
You're cheating because you know she's cracked at this.
Wait a minute. Is this just the doctor character from That group that you two are in.
Yes,
I figured I might as well.
she absolutely dominated at this game. It's unfair.
Just because I dominate in one universe doesn't mean I'll dominate in here. Do ignore that. That wasn't meant for y'all.
What are you talking about?
Don't worry about it. It's just the coffee talking.
Olivia just has a really bad feeling about this.
Gas ship. Got a captain. Did not get a crew for this. Gathers the ice up, slides it over to Rosea. Here you go, Officer Rosea.
Got a
Oh,
ship.
there's
Oh boy.
Got a captain, no crew. I bust again.
Yep. All right. To the little one, then.
Right then. Ah.
Ship captain, crew. 223 for loot.
Yeah, I'm gonna reroll all those. Ooh.
Hey, 15 in loot.
Yeah, I'm gonna push my luck and reroll that 3. I mean, it's
16 in
better than
loot.
a 3.
I think you had 12 last round.
Mm-hmm.
So that puts you at 28.
Hey, I went above 20.
Yep. It is now time for the final rounds, or the final turns. Did anyone score besides Briar?
I did.
Ah.
I don't remember what I had though. Sorry.
They're
I think
662. You had 14.
Gotcha. Yeah, we can beat that. Well, not like that.
Not with those kind of rolls.
Oh,
Shit,
damn.
big group.
Ship.
This is all 5 4s and 6s. Holy shit.
That's here. 6 by 4. So you got 15. Here, and you're working with a 12.
I had
I
14 to
believe.
start with.
Oh, you had
I
a
had
14.
which means she's already beat me.
Yeah. You beat Briar if you keep this by a whole point.
I'm gonna hold on to it. I was debating on rolling one of those 4s, but I'm gonna hold on to it.
And I don't think anyone else scored, so
Yep.
I think that automatically makes
Olivia
you winner.
wins.
There's a rare glimpse of excitement on Olivia's face that you guys have probably never seen before. Almost childlike.
Sure we have. It's every time you look at Bugabud.
Yeah.
You know what? Fair. That's fair. Valid.
What is here?
If anything, this probably pales in comparison to how she looks at Bugabud.
I want to check. Gotta watch Saga though. Bugabud.
Uh-oh.
Brian, you catch Bugabud trying to sneak to one of the die again.
Bugabud! Like, yoinks him back. The dice are not for eating. You got a double portion in the mess hall. Why are you hungering after... I know you got a big stomach, but save that big stomach for things that are actually edible. Alright, I didn't want to have to do this, but... And she reaches into her backpack and pulled out a snack.
I'm not
You
gonna
want
lie.
these?
That last little noise, I almost understood that as anything is edible if you're brave enough before you wouldn't grab the snack.
Yes, but Bugabud would eat anything.
That's why Briar made the comment earlier about a rock. She knows. She knows her Bugabud. I'll give you this snack if you don't go after the dice again. Alright. Good boy. And she hands him the snack.
He's just been sitting there with his mouth open. Probably just tossed the snack in. Thunder. He takes the snack, gets down into the bench, just starts to chew on it. Like a jawbreaker.
Good thing I got an ample supply of these. Last thing I want is him chewing on something more important than a die.
Quite a curious little creature you got there.
You could certainly call him that. Name's Briar. I'm one of the captain's guests here on the ship.
A pleasure.
Bugabud.
Medea Ryson. People just refer to me as the Doc, though.
You sound kind of tired. Did you just wake up?
Depends. What day is it?
Yo, who's it?
Then yes. She just sips from her cup of coffee. If you manage to get hurt on this voyage, I will probably be the one you'll see. I just ask you don't make a habit of showing up in my infirmary.
Certainly don't plan to.
That said, if you are willing to donate blood, just in case we have an incident where a crew member needs a blood transfusion, we won't turn away somebody that will donate blood. Just make sure that you're not going to be on shift anymore for that day.
I don't know if I'd recommend I take part in that. I wouldn't be surprised if my blood is laced with traces of this little man's magic by now. I don't want to potentially risk that rubbing off on the rest of the crew.
If you're worried about that, I could perform a checkup on you in the infirmary. As for the others,
would the checkup require one of them sharp things?
I would probably draw a little bit of your blood to give it a brief examine. So yes.
She audibly
Beyond
gulps.
beyond that, there would be no slicing you open or anything. Just shining of lights, just a bit of a physical.
Have you worked on
But
magical
DM's going
creatures
for some
before?
water. Creatures, no. Magical people, yes.
Can we trust you with Bugabud if he gets injured?
Hmm.
I think the real
Okay.
question is going to be whether or not Bugabud will trust you.
Well, considering we don't have a veterinarian on the ship, I would be the one most medically qualified. At the very
Bug,
least, I have some experience with avian and shark anatomy.
Bugabud, if you ever find yourself hurt, and with this woman here, can you promise that you won't get too antsy? Yes, of course I'll be in the room with you. Okay, yes, I'll also give you a snack afterwards.
Yes, younger patients do good when there's a promise of a lollipop at the end.
Sorry, I stepped away for a moment. I didn't miss anything, did I?
Nope.
No.
Not really. Just more talk about a potential
Yeah.
Bugabud checkup and getting
Well,
tempted by
that is
lollipops.
also a Briar checkup. Since Briar was the one expressing concern that she might be having Bugabud rub off on her.
Please don't start eating dice.
Oh no! I meant his magic, not that part. She just kind of pets him, ignoring what he's saying about the die.
It's red,
That
so it must be tasty.
that said, I'm not particularly fond of those needles.
No one you. I'd be surprised if you said you were a fan of needles. Nobody's a fan of needles. But to make sure one is happy, hell, and healthy, sometimes it revolves around needing needles to do things.
As much as I'd really rather not, I imagine trying to determine whether there's traces of magic in my blood would probably be for the safety of the ship.
Yeah. Besides, you're not the only one that would be going through a routine checkup. Everyone on the ship comes through my infirmary one way or another. If not for an actual injury, then to get their checkup to make sure that they're still fit for duty.
Oh God! That would certainly be impressive, considering she was maybe a couple of years old when the first team invasion happened, if that.
Not even born. Yeah, the previous demon invasion was like 50 years ago.
Oh, so it's down.
Of course, if that's the case, what would that make her master? Does that mean Master Gulu's an accomplice with the demons?
Maybe.
Tut, tut.
Dun dun dun.
Your master's the Oppenheimer of the demons. Just
Oh god.
absolutely nuke everybody.
Okay, so what now?
The plot keeps twisting.
The plot is a pretzel at this point. Oh, we can be. If you wish, we can do another round of this, or you can continue showing these guests around.
We need Randall for this.
Ah, there you are. I just got back from the top deck. Chief Bosun reports that the sails are in good order.
Excellent.
That means we should be able to sail and maneuver. However, based on what I'm hearing from some of the damage control experts, the hull can't take too many hits, so let's not go hunting out there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't want people flooding into the infirmary if we do. If we do get into a scrap, I will have to make sure everything's ready to go.
As usual, I expect continued professionalism. I know this is a strange mission, and it just got complicated. So our main job is to head back home, get this ship repaired, and deliver our mission in good order.
Yeah. It'll be nice to be back home. As enjoyable as the warmth of culture is for a vacation, I don't know how people stay here their whole lives. Much too warm, much too humid.
True. It's not heat that I'm used to. Then again, we just walked through a volcano.
Yep, we did.
Yeah, you are real heat. Try trekking through there.
She'll kind of glance you over.
And now,
Everything's still
if I happen to
feeling all right even after that.
I have my deep blue on, which has the edges of white and bronze that are typical of an Ionian Navy uniform. Skylancer's uniform. I obviously have my battle wings on as a member of the Skylancers and my ribbon board because I'm going to be addressing the crew soon at a captain's mast. So I at least have to be in close to formal regalia as possible. I even have my arrow spear. My worm tooth is currently not on my person, but I have my arrow spear instead.
Is your hair blue again?
Yep. I got the ice blue going. It's even lighter than it was before. I overdid it.
It looks good.
Well, we'll be sailing through usually safe waters. However, there are some species that we'll need to move through that aren't necessarily allied with either Ionius or Cauldra. That's part of the problem. Those waters in the middle and those islands never sided with any kingdom. So we could be in for some interesting times. That means, Rosea, we'll make sure to check in with the Marines and make sure that they're ready to repel boarders.
Okay.
I think that's the greatest risk that we're going to face on the water, is boarders from the shallows of the islands that we're going to visit, or potentially a ship-based pirate or marauder attack. It is the islands, after all.
Uh-huh.
Are we all settling in?
We're good. We just played a new game that we just took a little break after mess.
No, you didn't.
Of course we
Huh?
didn't, Captain.
No, you didn't, Lieutenant Commander. No, you didn't.
Okay.
Like to keep things clean amongst the officer corps, so no offense to anyone at the table.
So we shouldn't mention anything about it.
Shouldn't mention it. It happens. Just don't mention it. Sometimes fights start over these types of things.
Yeah, and I'm usually the one that gets to see the aftermath of those.
Yes,
Usually
but
it's just a bruise, sometimes a split lip. But there are times where it can get serious.
Yeah.
Usually when somebody really ticks off a shark demi.
Sometimes they forget their strength.
Indeed. Then it's all about setting the bones back together.
And then some.
Mm-hmm.
Miss Rosea, did the party have plans on where to go next aboard ship?
Well, I was gonna brief the security officers, and no plans for the rest of the party though.
I see. Well then, security chief, you have your orders. Check with the Marines. Make sure that they're ready to repel boarders. We might stop by. We might stop by at the armory. We'll see.
Okay. And I take off.
I suppose that means that the rest of you is with me. You've gotten your fill on the food. So how does shipboard food treat you?
Yeah, it's all right.
Well, it's a little different, and it's a little samey. I recommend that you pick out some condiments and mix things up, mix different foods together to get different tastes. We carry a significant variety, but it can get boring on a long cruise.
You know, on my home planet, we have this restaurant. It's my favorite since I was a little child. It's called Buggy's Burgers. One of the few memories of home I have.
But trust
Well,
me, I
in any
know.
case,
I know we don't
we
have
have
to
some
worry about
waiting
you
to
getting
do.
bored.
I need to let you know what's happening. We can't cast off yet and set sail. We have to wait for some of our sailors to return from the port town. They're on liberty, you see. They're on liberty leave. It's a short leave, but it can last 2 or 3 days, depending on how well the crew has done over the course of the voyage. The voyage here. So some of those crews may have been let out longer than others. I'll have to check with the department heads to see exactly how long that's been and who's currently out. I don't want to leave anyone behind, especially with the ship in its unusual condition. We want to make sure that we have a full repair crew just in case anything else goes wrong. And we need those qualified people.
That said, the sun is starting to make its trip downwards. If the
Oh, yes.
crew on Liberty don't make it back within the hour, we would have to suffer a night launching.
No, we're not going to do a night launching. With the current condition of the hull, a night launch is extraordinarily dangerous. We're going to have to try to sail by day. We're going to have to sail by day and anchor by night. I just don't want to risk the ship's condition. I'll have to check with the crew one more time to make sure whether the hull is seaworthy. And if it is, then we can try to make better speed and sail during the overnight. But we have to make sure that we have a doubled watch out there. Sea travel is significantly more dangerous with shoals and reefs and uncharted islands. It's been a long time since the last demon invasion, and I would love, as much as I would love to do our standard cartography function as the Skylancer Corps, Skylancers of the Expeditionary Corps, that also means that we're just not able to do that, so we may run into something unusual. Well, so far we've discussed your berthing, you know where to come to get food, and you know where the lifeboats are. Those are the most important things. Everything else that I've told you about ship flight and airship flight, well, those are smaller things. Just make sure you secure your belongings tight. Anything that's on board this ship can move around as the ship does. Once we get underway, some of you may get sick. I'll be honest with this. Some people just don't have sea legs right away, but some do. It depends on who you are. And if you feel that way, well, the crew will be there to help you and they'll recognize the signs.
If you're really worried, there's some medicine you can take that can help with it, but it will only really alleviate the symptoms a bit.
True.
If it's a serious case, there's only so much that medicine can do for you.
Doctor knows best.
Speaking of, will you be doing your checkup before we launch or afterwards?
We know that we're not airworthy. I've double-checked with everyone except engineering. I haven't taken a good look at the engine yet, and that's because, well, of our previous discussion. We need to make sure that the officers who have taken liberty have returned as well. We need to make sure that everyone's on board the ship and at their proper places before we make those types of moves. In the meantime, I'm checking with the damage control damage control crew, as I've said, to make sure of the integrity of the seaworthiness of the shooting star. We can't go into deep ocean, and that means we're limited to coastlines, which brings its own dangers. It means a greater incidence of pirates or native life forms or species that we're not allied with, potentially marauders, all sorts of things. And we're going to try to make best speed to one of the outer outposts, the sea outposts of Ionius. If we can transfer to an airship there, then we can move on at greater speed towards home. But if we don't, then it's still up to us on board the Shooting Star. We'll see how things go as we near our homelands.
Yeah, I wasn't asking about the ship. I was asking about your personal checkup. Considering you've been on land, and also have mentioned to have gone through a volcano.
Well, Doctor,
make sure that your health is still in tip shape. Briar here has already allowed for herself to be checked on.
That's true. All of you will need to be checked for diseases or pests that we may have picked up on the Cauldron continent. It's very important that we keep invasive species from appearing in Ionius. Even though Ionius is cold, especially because it's cold, upsetting the balance of ecological life by bringing Cauldron things that don't belong could be very dangerous to our countryside. I'm sorry. That means you too, Bugabud.
I'll just be in the room with you.
If you're complaining that you're a threat, and I'm guessing that that's what you're saying, you're not the threat. It's things that your fur may carry.
Just kind of starts licking himself, trying to clean his fur.
Yeah, you do that.
If
You forgot
anything,
being licked before.
you'd be surprised how clean his fur can get, despite how rambunctious he is.
I don't doubt that. It's just that we Ionians don't have fur to lick, so Bugabud's healing attempts are awkward.
Well, he likes to use his magic in ways that shows his affection to people, is all. So he can. Oh,
Are
I'm
you
sure
still
he.
alright with having Bugabud in combat, considering what happened?
Uh, I'll admit that was an incredible scare, far more than I was asking for. But, well, I couldn't just leave him behind.
It's true. I don't think we would have either. I think
We're a
that
pair, inseparable, and I know he would want nothing more than to be there with me in fight or flight.
considering that you walked the woods together for 3 years, then that's a lot. And now I'm thinking, based on that story, she was what, 12 when she was exiled? To the woods? I shake my head.
If anything, the thing I'm more so concerned about and why I hesitantly offered the checkup was because I worry there might be a unique magic in both mine and Bugabud's blood that could affect the crew. If
Oh, that's entirely possible as well. Unfortunately, we don't have a biological Magitech expert. Those things are pretty rare amongst Ionians. I don't know of anyone of that expertise offhand. I'd have to check when we get back home for that, so we'll just have to take the risk. Most of our Magitech engineers on board this ship deal with machinery and elemental power.
I'm one of the few that deals with organics, but it's mainly of the humanoid variety. Humans, shark demies, avian demies. However, magical creatures like this Bugabud here is outside of my expertise.
Well, you might
to
consider taking up a position not just in the workshop, but checking in on sickbay every now and then with our doctor here.
if
You
you
may have
feel like
remedies
that would help,
or antidotes that we don't know of.
if you think I could be of help, I suppose me and Buckbutt could try to give that a go. And yeah, I'm not surprised that nothing like Bugabud has really been tested around here. He is he his type of magical creatures tend to, at least from what I know, only live in the forest I came from. I haven't really seen anything like him outside of it. At least not yet.
There's some creatures that are limited to only one island out there. Some of us species are very small. Some of us are one of a kind. I've encountered that on my travels. So we'll have to treat Bugabud with the appropriate care. Hopefully nothing goes wrong before we can get Bugabud a full checkup somewhere on Ionis. I'm sure that the Queen would know of other Magitech experts that specialize in odd biological signatures.
Mm-hmm.
As a favor, of course.
Yeah. At the
As
very
long as
least, if you are concerned about the prolonged effects of having Bugabud around you, I'll be able to tell you if there's anything changing or going on with you, even if I don't have an exact baseline to work off of.
Well, I have been noticing some and hearing some things that I didn't before, so may that be a good idea. Near the end of
Hearing
our
things?
travels, as we were getting close to, I think I mentioned it a little bit when you found me sitting away from the campsite that other night. But something about the nature around me has been. I can hear it and feel it in a way that seems different somehow.
Hmm.
Not really sure how to explain it. It's like it's almost like I can hear what they're thinking, or maybe feel what they're feeling, or something. Not sure.
Well, who is they exactly? We never really cleared that up.
I'm not really sure either. I think it seems to come from the natural environment around me. I think.
Well, I'm more liable to believe you than most. I didn't believe in innate power that rests within the land, but I've seen ghosts and talked to spirits. And now I've been infused with some elemental power now, as I nod toward the doctor to make a note of that.
Hmm.
So I'm more apt to believe what you encountered is real.
Pretty sure my master also. I think he. I think he was trying to teach me something back in the day about how if you can commune with nature, you can command nature. I think that's what he said. Something along those lines.
That's something else that you may come into. You're still young. Your body's still growing. You're growing into maturity still, even now. You may encounter more powers before this is over.
I'm still a bit and she takes another audible swallow. Nervous of the needle, but if it'll maybe help answer some of my questions and ensure I won't be a risk for the crew, I'll volunteer to do the checkup as soon as possible.
You're certain with your checkups to make sure that the crew is healthy and hale and ready to survive whatever journey that we're about to undertake. But anything that you discover about these people is considered to be a secret. These are our guests, and some of them are connected with the nobility of Cauldra. And this information is not to be revealed to anyone else unless it goes through me first.
Don't worry. Doctor-patient confidentiality, of course.
Now, there's another layer to this. We've encountered what we believe to be the forefront of the demon invasion, and that's one of the things I'm going to talk to the crew about at Captain's Mast. I've already spoken to XO Hutsa, Miss Rosea, and that means that we need to rally some of the basic security crew for a full Captain's Mast on the main deck.
Oh, am I there? I thought I left.
Oh, she's gone. Anyway, I'll talk to someone to get the security portion necessary for the Captain's Mast. Anyway, I want you all to be there. You should go to your berthing now, change into your best clothes. If you need those clothes freshened up a bit, check with the tailor and the quartermaster. There may be something that can be done. After all, your traveling clothes may have taken a little bit of a beating, as mine did. We do have a laundry aboard, but we don't have enough time to do that laundry. But you can check in with the quartermaster. Quartermaster has a tailor. Maybe we can sew things up a bit if you want to look presentable, or as presentable as possible, for the rest of our crew. For the sake of Olivia, I've scheduled this captain's mast just after dark. All 3 shifts will attend.
Very well then.
At least the department heads will. So the rest of the information can be passed down to the rest of the ship, and no one will misidentify you as a stowaway or something worse.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Especially since you're going to be berthing with regular crew tonight. So, as far as I'm concerned, you have maybe an hour before we get back up on the main deck. I'll come by your staterooms, and I'll send a swabby to summon you then.
I suppose this would be a good opportunity for me to try to memorize where that number led and hope I know I'm going the right way.
As long as you remember the number, you can ask anyone in the crew. They can point you in the right direction, or even assist you. You're clearly guests here. Or at least you should be clearly guests here. Is there anything else that anyone needs? Otherwise, I have a speech to write. I need to announce our new mission to the crew. If there's nothing else, then I will take my leave.
I'll see
Good
you
luck
at
with
the
the
mast.
speech.
Yes, when the swabby comes for you, you can just follow the general path of the crowd. Everyone will be on deck. You'll be standing with me near the elevated, near the elevated area near the crane. It's usually a good place to address everyone while they gather around the mast itself. I don't like standing beneath the mast itself as a lot of captains do. I like to step back a little bit, give the crew some space. I'll see you then. As I look around for any comment?
We'll just take a step closer and then kind of just tap the captain's shoulder. Just making sure to wash some of the hair back from behind your ear for this. I would rather you look more presentable for the wedding.
You're
Sorry,
hard
what?
to hear.
It was a joke. Just Olivia, messing with him, telling him to wash some of the hair dye that's still on the back of his ears.
Oh, thank you. I'll attend to that when I get back to my stateroom.
Yeah, we don't have to do a scene for it, but Rosea was just checking with all the security personnel on the ship and the preparing the ship for invaders, getting reports, yelling at people, tightening up, and that type of thing.
There's a little bit of sloppiness that if you spent time at port for a while, things get sloppy. And that first drill
Yeah.
is typically a mean one.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to write a speech before I head back up on deck. There's a lot to explain to this crew and what they might encounter.
Yeah, I figure that speech will be the part of the start of the next session,
That makes
Okay.
sense.
so that everybody will be there for it.
Yeah,
Right.
it's fair that Kenzo will be there for that.
We miss our Kenzo. Come back
I
to
miss my
us.
guard dog. I want to say
So
good
we've
morning,
got
Do we
enemies.
want to? Do we want to call it here then? A little bit early. It's
Uh,
fine.
Well, guess does anyone want to do scenes with anybody else in the before we end things off?
Um, Briar would mainly just be going back to her room to make sure she knows where it is and I guess freshen up a bit.
Yeah, you have a key. Zax, why don't you go and describe an officer's room? You can do it better than I can.
An officer's stateroom. An officer's stateroom is About the size of a typical hotel bedroom, but about half the size. It is much smaller than you'd think it is.
Hmm.
Most of the things in an officer's stateroom fold out from the walls, and that includes shelves to do work on. And just like everybody else on the ship, there's a footlocker, and everything goes in that footlocker. Everything is secured down. In an officer's stateroom, there's typically some decoration on the walls. It's one of the few things that an officer can do that a regular crewman really can't, is to have a ship in a bottle here or a map there. And it's different by room just to spruce things up a little bit and make guests feel at home.
I think Rosea definitely has a picture of Randall in her room, and she always played it off as admiring the captain. But it was anybody who with any sense knew she had a crush on him. But
That's
and
a big
also
truth.
an extra bed has been, because I requested it from the quartermaster, has been moved into the room. Like just a
Yes.
little mattress laid on the floor
And
with
with
a
that,
pillow.
there is exactly enough room to get into the room when you're going to bump into that first bed. That's how small
Yep.
these staterooms actually are. They are compact. Now, the difference with the staterooms for officers is they're inboard toward the center line of the ship, so there are no windows. That's for safety reasons and for access to the main shafts leading up to the decks and up to the bridge.
Hmm.
Yeah. I was imagining about the size of a cruise ship room.
Well, it's a ship of war, so it's going to be smaller.
Yeah. I mean,
Even
take
officer
out the
staterooms space.
take out the bathroom,
Yep.
move the door up to where the bathroom wall would have been.
Yeah, it's cozy. Let's put it that way. But it is a room of your own. But we have some extra people, so we need to
It's
account for that.
bigger than a Japanese efficiency, though, right?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. But there are a lot of spaces on board this ship that are exactly that size.
Uh
Little bullet hotel.
Right. A lot of storage spaces, a lot of specialty spaces. Spaces for firefighting equipment are that small because we just unroll everything, run it down the hallways, run it down the passageways, fight the fire.
huh.
Some of the portholes, on the side of the ship they're all at the aft area. The
I
galley
believe
is
adhesion.
the mess hall. The mess hall is wide enough to see out both sides. Yeah, you gotta have some
Mhm.
light while you're eating. Gotta have some comfort.
I believe adhesion got her own stateroom with
Yeah.
Zaya.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lesha and Kenzo are sharing a stateroom.
Yes.
Livia is berthing with a crew member.
Deck 3, berth 52, with what's his name?
Uh,
Talbath?
Telva, Telva,
Talbath?
something along those lines. I don't think
Timothy.
it was Telveth. No, it wasn't Timothy.
Tina.
Well, those
No.
bunks are definitely bunk beds, and they're thin mattresses. They're good mattresses, but they're thin. And you just lift up the entire pad, and there's an actual drawer that's open top underneath that padding, so you can reach for anything you need fairly quickly. It slides out. There's a drawer that slides out, so it's smaller than an actual footlocker that we have in our rooms. It's not big enough for a staff or anything like that.
Thankfully, Briar doesn't have too many large things on her, so there's plenty of space for her. The real
But
issue
she
is whether or
does
not she
have a
can keep Bugaboo.
bugabud.
Yeah, that's the real issue. Is keeping Bugaboo in line and making sure Bugaboo doesn't make a mess or wake people up.
Rosea
Trying to steal.
suggests Bugabug can sleep bunk with her.
I can see
You
where
can
you're
sleep with
going
me,
with that.
Bugabud.
I can see where you're going with that, but
Bugabud is all over the room.
But
and
sheds.
it's already started.
Yep.
Even Bugabud, as she pulls out a treat.
Just going around sniffing everything, rubbing up
Bugabud.
things.
She pulls out a treat and shakes it. Come here. We're on a professional ship, bud. We and Randall said that thing about making noise and a mess. We don't want to piss. You saw that, chef. We don't want to piss off someone like that. Well, I mean, I can't stay mad at you, but that don't mean the sailors won't.
I better make a phone call.
I know it ain't your
Bud,
norm.
did you like my double portion I got you? Good boy, Bugabud. I'm Pat said. You can sleep anywhere you want in this room.
That's when and if he sleeps. Usually takes a full stomach to knock this bugger out.
Well, you just ate twice, plus treats.
That's not a full stomach for Bugabud.
Well, since
Hey,
he's getting
sorry,
double
I tried to call
portions,
mom, but her phone went straight to voicemail.
Uh-oh.
That sounds about right.
well, since he's getting double portions, it's
That's fine. I just didn't know if
3
she was
meals.
still coming to drop off my wallet or anything like that. She said she would.
Oh, I think Olivia doesn't know she's talking in the Discord.
Just remind her that she said she would drop my stuff off. I figured she was going to forget. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Okay, well, since Bugabuz's eating double meals or double portion, and there's 3 meals a day, that's 6 meals. He should be fine, right?
He looks up at Bugabud.
Just kind of rolling over, rubbing his belly pitifully.
Oh, come on now. You're hardly starving. I swear, you're being spoiled.
Bugabud.
Basically. We spent 3 years on the road together, scrounging up what we could. I get that it's not. I get that it's hard not to just get a bit gluttonous again now that we have a more reliable food source. But come on now, you're already eating double what even probably some of the bigger members of this crew eat on a daily basis. Yes, I'll still give you the occasional treat. Lucky for you, I got plenty enough to get us to Ionius, I think. If for some reason I don't, we are making a few stops, I believe. Scrounge up, see what the hell the other islands have on them. No, you cannot eat the dice again. What if I just took some of your treats and made them look like dice? Would that? Figures. She just scratches his head. Of all the things to fascinate you, it had to be something inedible. Yeah, I'll get on it. Oh, for sure. I see this coming a mile away.
Buckbud really is going to become Tubba Bud.
Because of the crewmates are going to start spoiling him too. But Briar
Exactly.
can barely keep him in line anymore.
Briar wakes up in the morning. Somehow Bugabud got out and enjoyed the night shift food, which is like sugars.
Huge belly, like one of those anime protagonists who just ate a whole buffet.
Yeah.
Oh yes, he does. That D10 Dex offers a lot of opportunity for zoomies.
The cute pitter patter of 6 feet rapidly tapping against the ground.
And that's only assuming he's too lazy to fly.
That's mutton chops, right? Alrighty.
No, his name was Malachi Hutza. He's the XO. The person who's commanded the ship while we were gone.
Yeah, the one with the mutton chops.
Oh, mutton chops. Okay, yeah, that's right.
So yeah, I guess we'll cut to Randall's state room, where there's the
Enter.
firm knocking on the door.
Enter.
Malachi will turn the door open, close it behind him.
Yeah, jog that
And
down. Have a seat, Mr. Hudson.
well, let me see if I can remember the. Well, I think I. No, that's too deep. I think it was something about like this.
Malachi Hudson sounded about like this. Yeah.
Oh yeah, like this. Yes. This sounds like mutton chops right here.
Mr. Hudson?
Right, I think I remember my voice now, Captain.
Mr. Hudson, I think that we've gone over what we need to, but I do need to talk. Whoa! Whoa! Calm your beard, sir. Anyway. Okay, I can't. Not with that. I cannot deal with that. Cannot deal with that. Jeez.
It's a
Looks
rare
like a
genetic
small,
anomaly. You get growing
small
beard at
woodland
will.
creature attacked this man and refused to let go. Let me take two. Mr. Hutza, I think that we've gone over the conditions aboard ship. I need to inform you what we're going to do next. I think that the sequence of events is as follows. Tonight, as you were well aware, we're going to hold a captain's mass to introduce these new members of our crew and our new mission. Now, our new mission is to make best reasonable speed to Ionian waters, to one of the island bases and to see whether there is an airship available there. If not, then we will continue after a cursory examination of the ship's hull for seaworthiness. We'll continue for the Ionian home continent. We have this missive, as I pull out what the Queen gave us. I have this missive. This has to be gotten to the king. I'm not exactly sure what's in it, and it's sealed. So this is a diplomatic matter. And because this is a diplomatic matter, our mission now is more important than this ship or crew. This message must get there. It contains information about the demon invasion, amongst other things, I'm assuming. But at least one messenger needs to survive. Do you understand, Mr. Hudson?
Aye, Captain.
And that may mean, if necessary, to launch lifeboats early to ensure that this message gets to the king in time. If the demon invasion has occurred, then we have an entire continent of people who are either completely unaware of the severity of this, or they're currently fighting it. Either way, we can't afford to risk innocent lives. We need to get to Ionius at all costs, even the costs of the ship.
Of course, Captain.
I'll try to make good decisions to keep her intact. I don't want to lose her. But at the same time, we're going to take a dangerous route. It's more dangerous than I've told our guests. But you and I both know what those coastal reefs and atolls and mysterious islands might hold. Sirens, mermen, or worse.
From a marauder
Pirates,
base.
marauders. What? I checked with the gunnery chief, and at least our guns are in good order. We're not going to be doing any fancy maneuvering, but we can fight. We're not going to outrun anybody either, because that capability has been stolen from us. So,
Aye.
the thing I want to do is to make a speech in front of the crew outlining exactly what the new mission is. Regardless of the sabotage and potential mutiny that's on board, we need to continue to make the attempt, and there's no one else available, and there's no other method to move this message back home. We are it. And as the Skylancers, this is one of the things that we do, damaged or not.
Right.
What we need, Mr. Hudson, is a full shakedown of the damage control readiness of this ship. It may take more time to get back home, but we're going to get there. And that means we're going to have to hold at least a fire drill and potentially a waterborne drill once we're out there, once we're out at sea. First things first, though, we need to get those people, both crew and officers who have gone on liberty, back to the ship. Hopefully the message can get around to all the cantinas and dive bars and other houses of ill repute to get those people out of their beds and back to the ship. Hopefully that can take place by mid-morning tomorrow. If not, we're going to have to send the Marines out to scour the town and get those people back to the ship. I don't like leaving lesser security on board the ship, but we have to get everybody aboard because we need the most specialized number of crew as possible for the things that we might find out there. Or the things that might find us.
Aye, Captain. Yes, we do have most of the people that went on Liberty back on board right now. There's still a couple that are still missing. That we have.
That's true.
That we have some officers out searching for, but it shouldn't be too much longer. Although we will miss the last of daylight before the last ones get back on board, I believe.
I agree. And that means that we're going to hold this full captain's mast and start making ship readiness. By noon, we are going to launch, regardless of whether those people are on board or not. I understand that might be a diplomatic risk leaving people behind, but we have to get moving. We have to get moving before most of the day is gone. Do we have any reports on the weather for tomorrow, Mr. Hudson?
There is a possible slight rain. That's only in the morning. Should pass by midday.
All right, that'll make our crew freshen up and to do their work and to get back to seafaring ways. We haven't done an extended sea cruise in a while, so I want extra attention paid by the swabbies to cleanliness on board decks. We need to watch for signs of rust or any kind of damage. Get rid of that as soon as possible before it weakens the ship. That means extra cleaning and if necessary, painting duties over the repairs that have just been made.
Plus, we'll need to make sure that before we got up in the crow's nest, this also pays careful attention to the water instead of just the skies.
It's a good point.
Since we'll be on the waters, we will be running the risk of some sea-based monsters trying to climb up the hole.
That's possible too. The closer we are to the coast, the smaller but the more deadlier things seem to be. The big ones are out in the deep water, so we don't need to worry about that.
Aye.
I want 2 people on rotation in the crow's nest, not 1.
I think I know who I'd select to take both positions for each watch.
Excellent, sir. But I do want that to be a rotation day by day. I need fresh eyes in that crow's nest every single day. We can't assume anything.
Of course, Captain.
Second thing, we are going to man the rail as we depart. We may not be leaving with everyone, but we are going to salute our port and the people of Cauldre as we depart. I assume that we have some music to play as we depart?
Of course, Captain.
Right, then we'll do something suitable on our way out, and we will salute Cauldre as we depart tomorrow around noontime. So, in about an hour, I'm going to address the crew. Is there anything of their concern, of the crew's concern, that I need to include in this speech? I should have invited the Master Chief and asked his opinion. We'll get to that. We'll get to
he
that.
would know more about the swabbies.
Yes,
I think if I'd have to wager a guess, it's most of them are more air suited than water.
Well,
The
we can't conduct
shooting
any
star has mainly been its aerial formation for most of its run.
True, and that is where we make best speed. So everything's going to be slower. We need to get some sea legs onto these folks, most of which have been used to air and air turbulence. And the air legs and battling against pockets of different air is completely different from having the lean on the ship and the sway on open water. So what we're going to have to do is to make some slight turns, test the ship's list, see how much we can bank her, and see exactly how well the crew handles that. I want those maneuvers performed as soon as we're clear of land sight.
Of course, Captain. And hopefully we won't run into anything that will make the waves big. They may be... Well, they can handle the turbulence of air. I'm not sure many of the crew can handle a large list as we go over a large wave.
That's also true. This is also going to affect combat. If we encounter any pirates or marauders on the water, we're not going to be able to do complicated maneuvers. And since we don't have a floor now because we're completely confined to the water, we can't do any dive attacks as the shooting star used to do. So we're going to have to perform everything on the terms of the horizon.
Aye.
That
At the
means
very least, our weaponry is still tip-top shape.
Hmm,
Whatever
Good point.
saboteuring whatever saboteuring did happened during the attack. And
see.
since we were all on weapons at the time,
There was no opportunity for the weapons to be sabotaged. I understand, and that's good for
Right.
us. I want to change the weapons load. Check with the gunnery officer, and I want bolt Magitech ammunition in the front, in the bow cannons and the aft cannons as well. If we're going to fight anything off, then we're going to be able to shoot into the water and make those bolt Magitech have a larger area.
you can't make them too big. Can't run the risk of a bolt shell hitting too close to the ship and conducting through the ship.
That's also true. So what we're going to rely on is slower turn maneuvers so that we can use the angled shots instead of taking on short range broadsides. We're not going to be able to handle that anyway. So we're going to have to rely on tack, and we're going to have to put the ship's list to the test in order to use maneuverability instead of speed. And that means we're going to have to do a full test on these sails as well. We'll do that as well once we're underway. And we'll have to alert our guests as well as some of our newer crew of how difficult that can be.
Aye.
Are there any swabbies that have commended themselves while we've been in port? Are there any awards that I need to give out?
For a more specific list, we'd have to we'll need to talk with the Master Chief John.
I agree. We'll have to talk to him before the speech. Have him. We'll go to the ready room before we go on deck for the captain's mast. So make sure that the gunnery. I want Gunny up there too, with our Marines.
Okay.
I want him to be a part of this meeting. Normally he's not invited to these types of meetings, but I want him there this time. I want to make sure that we're ready to repel borders, and I want him to understand the importance that we may have to.
Aye. And
Obviously, that's going to include our security chief, so make sure that Rose is part of that meeting.
of course. And as for any names that I know of for commit ending, yeah, I've heard today that the Swabby Elvin has started down Gran Samala spice path.
Oh, that poor fool. All right, make sure that Melvin is on light duty, and remind our chef to make sure that this spice path of his is only done at my approval.
Oh, he wanted to start. Look, the boy wanted to start with the pain salt after seeing
Goodness, we would
after
have had a casualty.
thing is he saw. From what I understand, he saw all the security officer Rose take a full dusting of pain salt.
What was she doing? I'll have to talk to her about that.
Hopefully
she'll
before
be
she
able to-
goes to what Oshraming experiences a ring of fire.
Ooh, yeah. We can't have our security officer out of commission. That was an unnecessary risk. Sharkmen are not built the same way that we are.
Aye. But they did ask for it. And he did correct Elvin to start down at the first step of the spice bath. And he did manage to keep it all down.
Really?
Yes.
Really? I've had my duel with spices and I failed immediately. Looks like the boy's got some strength in him. That's a good thing.
Don't put spicy
Aside from that, we
in my
need to
food.
talk to our airy component as well. We're going to need increased aerial scouting sorties while underway. I know that we're going to try to make best speed, but some of those flyers can keep up alongside the ship while it's on the water. We'll try to figure out what our most stable speed is, and we'll have to talk to Zax to make sure that we can keep power.
Aye. For rotating aerial flyers, Ravana's a pretty fast flyer. Trevel, he's an eagle, so he can go long distance in the air.
See. Well, we'll leave that to the air boss.
Aye, Captain.
Is there anything else that is going to be unusual for our upcoming voyage to the Outer Islands? Suggestions?
While we will need to... sorry, the voice kind of itches my throat a little.
Especially when you gotta talk down like this.
While we will need to stick to the more medium to shallow parts while passing the islands. We will have to make sure that we have our security raised at that point.
Point, Mr. Hudson. I agree. That also means that we can't afford to have trainees in the way. So those people that are in the billets, in the navigational branch, we're going to have to hold off on their qualifications until we can make sure that this ship is in good waters and in good shape.
Yeah. But between the islands, I believe we can let them get their training again. Considering it's a rare opportunity for this shooting star to be traveling in the water, except on landing procedures.
A correction. Let's move that training up to the very beginning when we take our list tests out of port.
Understood, Captain. I'll let the relevant officers know on that.
Right. Slightly adverse conditions can make for a deeper impact of training, and we won't be doing anything stressful just yet. We'll take it by degrees.
The stressful test will come if we encounter any enemies on the seas.
Agreed. And unfortunately, we need to wait for that stress to find out exactly how seaworthy she actually is. I trust your judgment, Mr. Hutt, so that we can sail upon the water and make it toward home. But the test is yet ahead, and I have a feeling that we're going to need our current guests on board deck. I want them assigned to part of the Marine Repel Borders group. That way, if things go sideways, I may not be able to be directly with them, but I can certainly oversee the deck while they do battle with any pirates or marauders should they make their way on board.
Aye, Captain. I'll make sure that the relevant officers know to talk to them.
Right. I'll include that on the way. I need to add that. I'm making a note on this parchment. I wish I had time to create a full speech. I'm just going to have to go by bullet notes, Mr. Hudson. How does the hair look?
Looks good, sir.
And my uniform is in order. As I stand up and I stand for inspection by Mr. Hudson, my first mate. Everything looks in order?
He does a circle around you. Straightens the coat a bit on the sides.
Thank you.
There we go.
Greatly appreciated.
Of course,
All right.
sir.
Then we need to gather who we need to gather. You have your orders, sir.
Aye,
And
Captain.
one more thing, Mr. Hudson. I intend to put in for some kind of compensation for you for the defense of this ship against the demonic forces. But we need to ascertain what that damage was and do a full investigation before I can engender that commission for you. And if nothing else, I'll have to give you some form of reward for this. It's an excellent, excellent defense by the crew that this ship is still alive.
Gives a nod for he gives a nod of his head. Just doing my duties, Captain.
I understand, Mr. Hudson. And by the way, one more thing. When you retire to your stateroom to prepare for the captain's mast, you might want to give a little bit of a trim to those chops. Get them back within regulation.
Oh, trimming these glorious things.
I know, Mr. Hudson, they're family heirlooms. We spoke about this. But we need to make a good appearance, especially with this importance of a mission. This just turned from a diplomatic mission into something that might affect the entire fate of Sylvonia.
I'll make sure that they're trimmed, sir.
Very well. And good job, Mr. Hudson. Good job indeed.
And you as well. Welcome back to the ship, Captain.
Good to be back.
He'll turn on his heel, open up the door, close it behind him.
And scribble two things on this entire sheet of parchment. I hope you're settling in.
You want to do the
I hope-
officer meeting, or do you want to call it there?
Oh, I just wanted to say a couple more things. I didn't want my scene to end quite yet.
Oh, sorry.
Uh-oh.
So he gives a little bit of a sigh and he says, I hope you're settling in, Rosea. I hope that your vision hasn't affected you. I hope that you can be a professional. We need you. I need your expertise. I need your strength. I need your professionalism. Just like Mr. Hutza, I value you a great deal, Rosea. Wherever you are on board this ship right now, I hope that you're rallying people to our cause and our mission, just like you always have. Time to be tough. As he stands up, takes a look in the mirror, adjusts the same place that Hutza did. I need my crew. I can't do this alone. And he opens up the chamber door out into the hallway, confident in the captaincy and what he must do for his country, for all of the people who live, and to defeat this demon invasion once and for all. And then he comes back into the room because he forgot his aerosphere. Damn it. He picks it up, goes back outside, closes the door again.
Yeah. Just marches out of the room confidently. And then the camera just stays in the room. And then he just comes back in, zooms out to the airspear, grabs it, runs back out. And then the camera follows.
Just want a scene.
And as everyone gathers on the deck, Randall sit, and then I guess at an elevated podium, the rest of the heroes, little behind him on the same elevated position. He looks ready to speak, and that's when the sepia-tones kick in. I'm cliffhanging it. I'm cliffhanging it. The sepia-tone sets in, and the bookkeeper looks up from his book. I think that's where we will let the story take its pulse for the day. One of you is still missing its. Oh, I don't want to keep going when one of you is not here to enjoy the telling of the story. So, till next time, my dear friends, and my dear storyteller, maybe next time there will be a proper story for you to hear from this book of mine.
Oh, come now. Every story, no matter how small or large, no matter the stakes, is always a proper story.
True, but it's always funner when the stakes are high. There's still the saboteur on the boat, and nobody knows who it is yet. Will they strike again? Will they wait until the ship gets out to sea to strike? Will the heroes even find this saboteur? I think we will have to wait to hear this next time. Until then, dear viewers, dear players, all in those in between. And then the bookkeeper raises a hand, and the save screen for Saga Sylvonia pops up, and he taps the save game button. Till then. And then the book shuts. The screen goes off. And that's the end of the session.